shot put it under pressure. The big. I don't think it came back enough. Might be just going over the top. Yeah, definitely going over the top. You'd have to say so. Good decision. Rohan Shah. Ball, especially in the death overs. Something that Oman and Akib Ilyas will be looking for him today. Wickets early and wickets at the tail end of the innings.
Well, it's a big shout. It's a back pad. And the umpire is unmoved. It's Rohan Shah, the umpire, from the pavilion end. But this is what he does. He asks questions so early.
कृपया आउने म्याचका लागि सबैले एकैचोटि सब्स्क्राइब गर्नुहोस्। आउने जति पनि म्याचहरू रहनेछ नेपालको त्यो सबै युसिन टिभीको अफिसियल वेबसाइट र युसिन टिभीको युट्युब च्यानलबाट हेर्न मिल्ने भएको भएर जो लाइभ हेर्नु हुँदैछ सबैले युसिन टिभीलाई चाहिँ सब्स्क्राइब गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। सबैले एकैचोटि सब्स्क्राइब गरौँ साथ दिउँ है त। सबैले एकैचोटि सब्स्क्राइब गरौँ। सबैले एकैचोटि एकैसाथ सब्स्क्राइब गरौँ त। त्यसपछि हामी यो लाइभ आवाज चलाउने छौं र लाइभ स्ट्रिमिङ उतैबाट प्रब्लम आइरहेको छ है त गाइस। यहाँबाट प्रब्लम केही नि छैन। सबैले एकैचोटि सपोर्ट गरौँ त। सबैले एकैचोटि सपोर्ट गरौँ, सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिउँ। हाम्रो सब्स्क्राइब टार्गेट 10K रहेको छ। सबैले साथ दिउँ है त।
It'll be really interesting to see A, how they rotate their bowlers, and B, how they finish off, especially if they've got two striking batters out in the middle towards the end.
Yeah, and as we all know, one of their main strike bowlers in Bilal Khan's not here, so that's a big loss for them. But Kalimullah, he's taking the reins as their strike bowler. Coming down the track there, Anil Shah. So looking to make something happen here early, but Kalimullah, he's taking his form from the 1 days into the T20s, and this is a brilliant start from Oman. Exactly what Akib Ilyas was looking for when he won that toss this morning.
It's not often that you see 5 dot balls from the get-go in a T20. One more delivery to come, and he's moved the ball every single delivery thus far. Didn't have the best of opening partnership here for Nepal. Asif Sheikh 8 off 9 yesterday, and Anil Shah 9 off 5. Well, that's edged, and it's been put down. Fayaz Butt in the first slip position. Kalimullah gets the edge, and that's a big chance gone down early on. It's the end of the first over, 4 for no loss.
It's almost a perfect over for Kalimullah. Almost a perfect over, and it would have been capped off. It would have been a brilliant take nonetheless, but one you have to say, Fayaz Butt, he'd be disappointed not taking that. Let's have a look here. The tall Kalimullah getting some bounce, getting some movement away. Anil Shah, he should have had it. 2 hands. Had to go with 2 hands, Fayaz Butt. He's let his fast bowling partner down.
Well, first over and first chance put down, and a very good over. Unfortunately, goes for a boundary in the end of that. Anil Shah getting off the mark, not in the most comfortable fashions. We're going to continue with the combination of pace and spin, as Oman have consistently done that over the ODIs. Par score on this ground or on this pitch?
Yeah, well, time will tell, wouldn't it? 123 yesterday, you would have said was well below par. Ended up being a winning score for Canada. And I think if you're in Nepal, you want to get into that 130, 140 range. Want to put some pressure back on Oman. But this has been a good start so far. Shakil Ahmed has been on the ball throughout the ODI series. And we keep coming back to that ODI series, Manali, because that's the last time we saw Oman play. Would have been disappointed only getting that one win, the one rain out as well. So that was the only points they were able to manage. We've got to start to build some momentum. In this first game against Nepal, it's going to be an important one. They've got 2 more to go after this as well. Got to find some momentum in their squad.
And momentum is key. In fact, I had a chat with Harsh Tucker from the Canadian side just asking him how they're going to adjust their plans, adjust their mindset to going into T20 series after 50 over series. He said, honestly, we're just going to be taking the momentum that we've.
अपकमिङ आउने सबै नेपालको म्याचेसहरूको लागि हजुरहरूले युसिन टिभी च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गर्नुभएको छैन भने सबैले एकैचोटि एकैसाथ सब्स्क्राइब गरौँ है त। सबैले एकैचोटि सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिउँ। हाम्रो सब्स्क्राइबरको टार्गेट 10 के रहेको छ र भोलि पर्सि आउने जति पनि म्याचेसहरू रहनेछ युएसए विरुद्ध स्कटल्यान्ड विरुद्ध सबै म्याचहरू यसमा हेर्न मिल्नेछ है त। सब्स्क्राइब गरौँ है त। सबैले एकैचोटि सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिउँ।
Kaleem Sana, how happy was he? We saw him on the boundary. You couldn't take that smile off his face after the catch, let alone the wickets. So a brilliant fielding effort for Canada.
Yeah, player of the match as well. Kaleem Sana. It was a tight pick between Kaleem Sana and Saad Zafar. They both bowled so beautifully. Saad Zafar also one of the highest run getters in the game yesterday. Well, that's top-edged, and it's going to run away to the boundary. 4 runs here. Asif Sheikh picks up a boundary to his name as well.
Yeah, too much width on that occasion from Shakil Ahmed, allowing Asif Sheikh to free up his arms there, and he just had to beat the 2 men. And once he gets that, that's not a long boundary out there. Gets him past slip, and short third man had no chance.
Well, back live, and this is a stumping appeal. Umpire says not out. It's going to be the end of the second over. Nepal 10 for no loss.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
It's back to Kalimullah. Early chance put down in his first over. Again, beautiful movement, just taking it away from the right-hander. He bowls a good length as well, makes it very difficult.
Yeah, it's just a natural length for him, isn't it? The tall man, Kalimullah, back of length. And again, as I said, what's been most impressive is the lateral movement he's getting off that wicket. Just nipping away the amount of batsmen he's been able to square up. And Anil Shah, he looks to be in all sorts so far early in this game against Kalimullah.
Well, chip down the ground, and this is going to go a long way, straight down the ground. Anil Shah said he's had enough of this bowling. Length or not, I'm going to take the bowler on, and that's a magnificent looking shot first up, the first maximum of this innings.
What's the best form of defense, Manali? It's to go on the offensive, and Anil Shah says, you want to keep bowling that length, I'm going to come down and get it. And again, just 57 meters out there, goes all the way. Didn't get all of it, you wouldn't say, but just got enough to get it over that boundary rope. Still all counts the same, 6 runs to Anil Shah.
Good positive start here. You could be as defensive as you want, but as you said, sometimes being on the offensive is what you need. It just puts the opposition on the back foot. Kalimullah now maybe in 2 minds, seeing that the batters are more than willing to come down. You see there's a conference out there in the middle now. Senior players getting together. And we might also have a lost ball.
Yeah, the umpire's just taking a look at the ball there. That might have taken a chunk off of it. Kalimullah, I don't think he'd want that ball change the movement that he was getting. But it's smart thinking from Anil Shah. Kalimullah just banging on that length consistently. And Anil Shah making him think a little bit differently now, coming down and get it. It's the one thing about T20 cricket that's going to be a little bit different than the ODI series is can't get too predictable, even with the new ball. Anil Shah coming down, and it's a brilliant shot from him.
And he was really allowed to do that in the 50-over series, wasn't he? Just allowed to bowl that consistent length. No one really challenging him. He's going to have to get a little bit creative here at Kalimullah. Positive signs for Nepal. It was a positive sort of batting as well yesterday. Just the shots not coming off as well as they would have liked. And it is going to be a different ball Seems like the other one's taking a bit of a beating. Not quite sure where it landed after it went over the ropes here.
Yeah, the other thing of note, Manali, if you look in the first slip, it's no longer Fayaz Butt. Zishan Maksud now in at first slip, so they've made that change. Fayaz Butt now at mid-on.
Well, cut away this time, and it may not run away to the boundary. A lot of ground covered. The fielder at fine leg. He does well.
Yeah,
the fans are out here today as well for Nepal. And we anticipate they're going to be coming out in some numbers today. It is a Sunday, and it's a beautiful day as well. Nice weather, light breeze. Full house yesterday as well.
Yeah, is it September in King City, Manali? You wouldn't believe it if you're standing out here. What a beautiful day for cricket this is.
It's odd, isn't it, for this time of year?
I'll tell you, Manali, during my playing days, this is the time that I loved. Loved when I was just getting into the teens, playing up in King City. Everybody would be wearing 3 or 4 layers. I'd be in my T-shirt, and just, as you went as a fast bowler, you don't get tired. You can run in all day, you don't get tired. No sweat. And at that time, we could use saliva on the ball, so you didn't have to worry about shining the ball with your sweat. So it's all good. But again, Fayaz Butt having another word with the umpire there about the ball. It doesn't look they're happy with this. But you saw what when Anil Shah came down the track, Kalimullah had to adjust his length, and that brought the run-scoring opportunity on the offside. The cut shot came out. That's just a little mind games in T20 cricket, Manali, and that's well done by Anil Shah. He's off to a good start. He's only 13 off 11, but he's starting to think and making sure that he lays a platform for his squad.
Well, that's it. The balance between being aggressive and still making sure that you're out there for long enough.
And I think that was the thing in the World Cup during yesterday's game, I didn't mind the plans. It's just the execution didn't work out for them.
This is guided nice and fine. Soft hands and smart cricket. They've picked up the maximum. Then 2 runs. Just rotate that strike as well, especially if you got that 1 boundary in the over.
Yeah, certainly. They've got 7 or 9 runs coming off this over so far. When you have a look, the no frills towels, the no frills T20 Cup. Not just wiping off the sweat, getting some shade for the fans there as well. So shout out to our title sponsor, No Frills.
And Coca-Cola for free drinks at the game, so come on down.
Yeah, get some shade from the No Frills towel, and then get yourself refreshed. Has a score 90 for no loss after 3 overs.
Seva is giving back to the community and making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's the no frills thing to do.
On the board, this is a decent start. Pretty even Stevens, though, I think, from both sides. I think Oman are just going to be a little bit upset that they've not picked up that wicket. Chance on offer and put down. Shakil Ahmed to continue.
They're going to persist with a left arm spin of Shakil Ahmed. I did see Fayaz Butt warming up. He might be taking over from Kalimullah on the other end.
Well, he's gone for the sweep. This has gone up in the air. Chance! And it's been put down. That is 2 catches that have now gone down.
Yeah, and it looks like it's the new man that's just come in for this game, Khalid Kale, that's put that down. He just didn't look like he was taking it at any point. No balance in that whatsoever. We'll have another look. Anil Shah, that's the big boundary, of course. The square boundaries are the larger boundaries. Taking on that. And Khalid Kale just not able to made the ground. Got 2 hands on it, but just was in no position to take that catch.
Well, even the shot, no real control. It went high up. It was a thick top edge. And there again, no balance, falling over before the ball got to him. Chances, important chances. Half a shout. And single taken. How important are these chances going to be? 2 drop catches early on.
Yeah, two chances for Anil Shah. He's riding his luck, that's for sure. But Oman, they've got to do better in the field. They've got to hold on to their catches. It's going to be key in this game. We know Nepal will be well in the field.
So important to hold on to those catches when they come your way. And Anil Shah might be riding his luck a little bit, but he's certainly making the most of it.
And again, I don't mind the plan. There's nobody behind square on the boundary, so you just have to beat that man at fine leg and the man at forward square leg, which is Zishan Maksud, in the ring. So you can get it over them. It's a boundary all day of the week. But he just got it forward of square, got it more mid-wicket than the square leg.
Defensive now, and for good reason. Decent couple of deliveries from Shakil Ahmed. Painful as a bowler, isn't it? You create those chances when they're not taken. Oh, he's gone for the big one, and he's going to clear it with some distance. It's out of shape this time. 6 more runs added, and it's again off the last delivery of the over. Nepal, 4 overs gone, 28 for no loss.
We said give those Nepali fans something to cheer about. They're definitely cheering right now.
नेपालको बाँकी रहेको ट्राई सिरिज नेसन अन्तर्गतको सबै म्याचेसहरू आउने दिनहरूमा हेर्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने हाम्रो यो युसिन टिभी च्यानललाई चाहिँ सब्स्क्राइब गर्नुहोस्। यदि युसिन टिभीको युट्युब च्यानलमा नआएको खण्डमा हजुरहरूले www.yushintv.net मा पनि हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। धन्यवाद।
Rotating the strike, I'll hit it over the top into the netting. Brilliant end to the over. 9 runs coming off of it. Asif Sheikh joining the party. And it'll be a bowling change, Manali. We saw him warming up. Fayaz Butt into the attack now.
You're a bowler in your prime days, and not very
You're saying
nice.
I'm not in my prime now, Manali?
I absolutely am, yes. I think you know it too. Well, pushed into the offside. Slightly uppish as well. They're quick between the wickets. The Nepalese, they're very sharp when it comes to testing the fielders. You know all about having chances put down off your bowling. How about getting hit for 6 on the last ball of a decent over?
Yeah, well, the spinners, I don't know how the spinners deal with it. They get hit a lot more than us fast bowlers. And I'm being courteous to myself. I was never a fast bowler. Probably slow more than anything else.
No, but definitely feisty.
Definitely. I was talking to your husband, and he was talking about how much he used to hit me all around the ground, so I wasn't too happy with him. I'll be having a chat with him later on when I have a little bit more time, and you're not around, so I can tell him how I really feel.
He's still playing.
Yeah, I'm well past my prime. But I'll tell you what, Fayaz Butt reminds me a lot of myself. He never looks like he's 100%. You always see him walk, and you always think there's something going on there, but he puts in 100% effort. And I was like, man, I always had back problems, knee problems, ankle problems, and then never looks like, but he just always is up for the fight, always up and puts 110% in for his country and his team. A brilliant warrior for Fayaz, but he would have been disappointed with that dropped catch. He's going to want to make up for it here.
Well, it's gone straight down the ground. There's no chance for mid-off or mid-on. Good batting this. They're targeting safe areas. Anil Shah has just picked up a boundary to himself.
Yeah, Anil Shah targeting the straight down the ground. As we mentioned, that's a short boundary. Back of a length for Fayaz, but not the length that you're looking for on this wicket. You can see him just telling himself there to get that forward. Anil Shah, he's starting to get into his groove now. It's a brilliant shot down the ground.
It's a tough job being a fast bowler. You mentioned it, a lot of injuries, everything from shoulders down to your feet. This time goes leg side, and it's another gap. It's back-to-back 4s for Anil Shah. Well, batting doesn't get much better than this. He's completely taking on the offensive right now.
And Ahmed Fayaz Butt just struggling to find his length on this occasion. That's all it's been from him. Anil Shah just waiting on length. back of a length on the previous delivery, full of length on this time, and this one just goes over mid-wicket. In the power play, only 2 men allowed out. Plenty of gaps out there if you can beat the inner ring. And Anil Shah doing it well here. He's moved on to 27 off 18.
A much better control with the bat today for Nepal compared to yesterday against Canada. And as we say that, we're going to see a fielder drop into that cow corner just wide of that mid-wicket region. Actually, there's a mid-wicket fielder as well. Now coming on the boundary. Swing and a miss. A good contest this between batter and bowler.
You can hear that grunt from Ahmed Fayaz Butt as he passed the bowler there. As he passed the umpire there, in his delivery stride. He put a little bit of extra in that. He wasn't too happy. He's a feisty character, Ahmed Fayaz, but never too happy getting hit for back-to-back boundaries and just putting in that little bit of extra effort on that delivery and get some shape away from Anil Shah.
This is a good start and a good use of the power play for Nepal today. They really have put in the hard yards. Good balance between being aggressive and being smart. Just missing that outside edge. Again, movement on offer. And it's going to be the end of the 5th over. 38 for no loss.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. How's that? TD, ready for you.
The bowling to big Cali Mullah, and then an easier chance I felt out at deep mid-wicket by Khalid Kale, who never got into any kind of position to hold on. As Ishan Maksud comes into the attack. Andrew Leonard joining you here. Delighted to have Matt Bonner with us again today, the former NBA player who's very much enjoying his first taste of international cricket. Is that fair to say?
Definitely fair to say. It's been a crash course in the sport, especially after yesterday's exciting match against Team Canada and Team Nepal. And if there's anything I learned in this format, every play counts, every play matters, every play can be the difference between winning and losing. It's all about efficiency and execution. And you mentioned those 2 drops. You just can't have that. You know, Oman's going to be kicking themselves if it comes down to the end. They're going to look back at those 2 drops as the difference between winning and losing.
Now another chance, and the keeper should take this. He nestles underneath it, and he does hold on. Pratikatavele. Zishan Maksud's a difficult bowler to get down the pitch to because he's very, very clever. He just holds it back. And Sa, with that kind of languid, wristy style that he has, he was looking to hit straight down the ground, where it's shortest, but instead it just went miles up in the air. Easy catch when you got the gloves on for the keeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Simple play. We saw them doing dozens of reps with that same very catch in their pregame warm-up. So, I mean, that's it.
Everybody, subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches. Subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches. Subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches.
And that is now the first wicket to fall. It ends that opening partnership. The score, it's 39 for 1.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
So, Lenny, we saw in both matches in this series, the team that won the toss electing to bowl and field first. Is that a typical strategy across all formats of cricket?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly in the T20 format recently. Sides very much want to know what they're chasing, and they also then get first use of the facilities. At this time of year as well in Canada, we're well into autumn now. You know, summer's a long time back. Mm-hmm. You know, you have that little bit of moisture early. It's a 12 o'clock start. So when you go out and kind of put your hands across the pitch, the playing surface, you could still feel a little bit of coldness, a bit of dampness. So any of the assistance you get from the new ball will be earlier in the day. And then as the sun hopefully bakes that pitch out, it should get easier to bat on. That's the theory. The problem for Nepal was yesterday they weren't able to execute that plan.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue it's harder to field when it's wet, though. You slip and sliding out there a little bit, no?
A little bit of that, but really the fielding, even though it's critical, what the ball is doing to the batter is the most important thing. Is the slip's just going to come out of play here now? Final ball of the power play, probably about honours even, I'd suspect, as Dev Canal can't get off the mark. What an over from Zishan Maksud. He's closer to 40 than he is to 30, let's put it that way. With 6 bowled, it's 39 for 1.
So, Lenny, advantage of knowing what you're chasing. When I was in the three-point contest in 2013, I was runner-up to Kyrie Irving. Beat Steph Curry in the semifinals, had the high score, and had the luxury of choosing whether I wanted to go first or second in the finals against Kyrie Irving. And same thing, I chose second because I wanted to know what score I needed to beat. Unfortunately, Kyrie Irving caught absolute fire, and I couldn't catch him.
It's a kind of double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Exactly.
You're hoping to play good on defense, like you were saying.
Yes.
And then know what you got to get. I wouldn't have picked you again. My basketball knowledge may be similar to your cricket knowledge, if that's fair.
Yeah,
I don't with some good grace.
But I'm sure you've heard of Steph Curry.
Of course I have, but I wouldn't have picked you just with your natural height necessarily. As the outside edge is beaten, good bowling from Fayez, but as a good three-pointer. But you were a good three-pointer.
I was. I led the league one year. I was one of the old school big man three-point shooters, which now is very common in the league, but when I was in my prime, it was kind of a new thing. Big men shooting a lot of threes. We call them stretch bigs.
Stretch bigs.
Yep. I was a old school stretch big, and now it's commonplace, so almost every big shoots threes. Big meaning like front court, tall.
Okay, the front section of the court, yeah. This is whipped off his legs. Should think of a couple, even though it's the shorter side of the ground, and he will get there. Good piece of athletic fielding, one-handed pickup and throw to get off the mark for Dev Canal.
Nice hustle there. I could definitely see also if the ground's wet, slows the ball down on rollers like that, giving the fielders an opportunity to chase them down before it hits the limit.
Yeah, one of the tricks for Nepal here is gauging, given that they're on the same surface as yesterday, what a good score is going to be. We didn't think 123 was going to be a winning score. Nobody did in the entire venue, even the most faithful of Canadian fans. So Nepal have to readjust their sights. They have the benefit of knowing we're on the same pitch as yesterday. So they might not be happy with 120, but are they thinking 140 is actually going to be a really good score, particularly think about the way they bowled and fielded yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, if they can duplicate that performance on defense yesterday, I would say that's a great score. Look at how long this run-up is.
Now, this is going to be close, and yes, the finger goes up. It's maybe kept a little low. I have to say, it's possibly not the greatest shot. He's come right across the line. A big hack across the line. It skids on, keeps a bit low. The only question for the umpire will have been, has it struck in line or not? It's definitely going to on and hit the stumps. And the first LBW you've seen is given.
Yes, we didn't see any umpire calls yesterday. Let's take a look. Oh, for sure. That was definitely going to hit the wicket.
going to go on and probably smash into off stump. So Dev Canal's promotion to number 3, just his second T20I, that has not worked. Ahmed Fayez but strikes, and the second wicket falls. Kushal Malla to the crease, and he just watches that one through. Gets us to the end of the 7th over, and the score is 42 for 5. So namaste, warm welcome along to the commentary bots. Andrew Leonard here alongside the former NBA star Matt Bonner. Matt, great to have you with us. Got something for you here. Actually got 2 things for you.
Okay.
You've heard my nickname, haven't you, in Nepal?
I have. It has something to do with this, right?
Yeah, with the Taklu Dai.
Yes.
I love the nickname Taklu Dai. So that means bald elder brother. So we've got to thank Sujan Shrestha for this one. He says that we've got to give Matt a nickname because we know he's really enjoying Nepal. He's going to be called the Lambu Dai. So you are officially now the Lambu Dai, which is the very tall or the giant elder brother.
I love it.
And it's so great to have
What
you
an
with
honor.
us. I've got to show you one more thing as well. This is what they call a Dhaka Topi. So I'm going to ask you very quickly, take your headset off. We're going to see if this Dhaka Topi is going to fit Matt Bonner. Let's have a look. I can barely get up there. Let's get a look. Oh, got to open that out. And what about that? What do you reckon? You have to bend down to show people. There you go. How good is that?
How does it look?
It looks, I tell you. Give a namaste as well. We'll give a namaste.
For sure. I do yoga.
We're struggling to get the headset on over.
I gotta adjust. Figure out how do I work. What's it called one more time?
Get one more look. There it is. So you are. That's the Dhaka Topi.
Dhaka Topi.
And you're the Lambu Dai now.
The Lambu Dai.
Lambu
I
Dai.
got it. I'm gonna have to add it to my Instagram profile. Red Mamba, Red Rocket, Lambu Dai. Got it.
We gotta love the Lambu Dai. So that were they your playing nicknames when you were playing? That was. You had kind of 2 very specific nicknames.
I did.
What was it? Red Rocket.
Yep, Red Rocket was my nickname when I played here for the Toronto Raptors. And it was because, I mean, A, I have red hair, and B, I didn't have a car. I take the transit, the TTC.
Hold on a second.
Which
you
is
were
nicknamed
playing
the Red
you were
Rocket.
playing in the NBA, and you didn't have a car.
No car. Look, Toronto's a big city, great public transit system, parking's a pain, insurance.
This was by choice, you're telling me.
Absolutely. It improved my quality of life. I didn't have kids. I was younger.
Man,
My family.
I took an immediate liking to you from the first time I met you, but I adore you now. You're a man of the people.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the traffic in Toronto, who wants to drive in that if you don't have to?
So
right?
you don't have the Tyreek Hill Lamborghini going? You're straight in on the...
I just want to get from point A to point B.
Good on you. Well, look,
Yeah.
what do you think of the nickname, the Lambu Dai?
I like it.
Yeah, it's good,
It
isn't
has
it?
a ring to it.
There's also is a huge culture of respect in Nepal. Life is all about respect, to, and particularly to your elders. So what you'll hear, even Rohit Paudel, you'll hear him during post-game shows, he'll refer to the older players in the team. Even though he's the captain, he'll say, well, Karen Casey Dai, Sampal Dai, bowled brilliantly. You know, and
I love that.
It's really nice, isn't it? A big part of their culture, and they're a very proud nation, and rightly so. It's the most beautiful country, and I think we're all shocked with the images and the catastrophes that have occurred, particularly in the valley, but also in the more rural regions of the country. We heard Rohit Paudel talking about his thoughts and prayers being with all of them, and all of ours are too. But it's great to have you now engaged in a bit of Nepali culture.
I appreciate it. It's an honor, and definitely our hearts go out to everyone affected by the flooding in Nepal, and hoping for, as speedy a recovery for the country as possible with that.
End of the 8th over, and it's 45 for 2.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
So 8 overs gone. Nepal, they're going okay, but they are, for me, I've got to say, Matt, you know how closely I follow the Nepal side, all the associate teams, but they're in a rut. They're in a position, I think, from a confidence point of view, from definitely a little bit of mental fragility. It's been 163 days since they won an international. And they played a lot of cricket in that period. They were in great form in the ACC Premier Cup in April. I think many thought that they were going to qualify for the Asia Cup again. Then they lost their final 2 games, the 2 crunch games there, going down to UAE and Hong Kong. Then they were exceptional at the T20 World Cup. I'm also talking about full internationals. They did win a couple of games against West Indies A. As Rafiullah comes into the attack for the first time. That's going to be a wide down the leg side. But certainly going to that World Cup where they were so good, they nearly beat South Africa, which would have been one of the biggest upsets maybe in the history of the game. They lost by 1 run off the very final ball.
Man.
Heartbreaker.
Yes.
I'll show you some footage actually when we come off here. Amazing game of cricket. Very nearly beat Bangladesh, who are another one of the test nations. But since then, they did have a break, but 4 ODIs here, lost all 4. You could just see yesterday it was a confidence thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could tell. You could see the body language. See this run up. The body language, that last diving catch, you know, it's tough in any team sport, especially with the grind that cricket seems to be. You mentioned, like, all these different tournaments, you're traveling, you're far away from home. It's so important to stick together and keep that chemistry and positivity going regardless of the result. You know, focus on the process. It's hard. I've been on basketball teams that stink, that lose a ton of games. But you just got to stick together and stick with it and know things will change if you do that. Coach Popovich, Greg Popovich, legendary NBA coach, 2 things. He's a big fan of the term pounding the rock. You know, you pound the rock.
What does that mean?
You hit the rock with the hammer 100 times without so much.
It's eventually
going to
crack. Yeah.
But on the 101st blow, it splits in half. And
you just got to keep
single
working.
Blow was the 100 that came before.
Yeah.
And then he has another phrase: the worm will turn. Like, if you're about the right things, eventually your fortunes will change. The worm will turn. You know, on the Spurs, when we were having tough moments, tough times, those were the 2, like, foundational messages that would kind of get us through back on track.
What was kind of, I suppose, the longest period? Was it, you know, a 20-game streak?
Yeah, well,
was there like a period?
We were really good on the Spurs when I played there. We won 2 championships. We were a contender every year. So
you didn't have a long.
It wasn't that long. Yeah, maybe we'd lose 2 or 3 games.
How many games you play in a season? It's a lot, isn't it?
82 regular season, and then however many in the playoffs.
Yeah, so
playoffs is like a second season if you go all the way.
Because it's like a best-of-7, best-of-5 match series, that sort of stuff.
The playoffs are like 2 months.
Yeah, big swing and a miss. Kushal Malla just continues to look a little out of form as the outside edge is beaten. Rafiullah,
and you're seeing the body language now is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you're kind of sensing some of the body language stuff with these 2 batters. Like, it doesn't matter. You got to stay positive. You got to keep the energy.
Yeah, it's what it's all about. And I suppose the problems for Nepal haven't so much been with the ball and in the field, they've been with the bat.
Yep.
And that's the kind of the sole thing you do individually in cricket. You know, when you're bowling, you got all your teammates out there supporting you in the field. When you're batting, it's just you and your partner. But really, it's about how you bat individually. As that's a big full toss. Now, it's going to be a no ball. So even if this is taken, it won't be out. Both umpires immediately indicating that because this is not pitched and it's gone over the waist high of the batter, it is a no ball. That's a good decision for me. Malla will get a single, but critically, as the 50 comes up, Asif Sheikh is going to get a free hit. And what that means, Matt, whatever happens here, he can't be out.
Love that. Let it rip.
It's a free hit. You do what you want. Now, the only little advantage for Rafiullah is that because the batters have changed, he's allowed to change his field. So what he'll do is he'll set a very defensive field. Everyone will probably go back.
Why did that happen? Did the ball just slip for the bowler?
Yeah, so what he's doing there, he's looking to hit the block hole right up towards the white line, which is we call the popping crease there, and that's a very difficult place to hit the ball. But sometimes you just get it that even fraction wrong, your release point. The Yorker, which is what we call the ball when it goes up there, it turns into a full toss. And actually, he'll get a warning for that. If he bowls one more of those, he's going to be out of the attack. Here comes the free hit. No real timing. It was a slower ball. Doesn't matter if it's caught. It's not a drop chance. Don't worry. Wouldn't have been out even if it was caught. So one more run to the total and not too much damage done. But Rafaela, who's only come into this squad for the T20s, just battling a bit, isn't he? Not hitting his lengths and not bowling particularly well.
So the team that's batting, just spatially on the field, how much can they hear from the rest of the team sitting off to the side there?
Yeah, so it really will depend on the coach and depend on kind of the setup of the team. Some of the coaches are very active. They even actually sometimes walk around the boundary. You are now allowed to do that. A little bit of a change to the playing conditions a little while ago was that when we do have drinks breaks, the coaches are actually now allowed to go out, a little bit like you would in a basketball timeout, and kind of get the instructions more baked in. But the captain on the field, he is almost like the coach. So they've got a huge role to play. They make all the bowling changes. They decide who's going to go into which position. They'll consult with the bowler as to when they want to bowl and the like. But really, some would actually describe the captain as, in cricket as more like the kind of the team kind of manager, the team coach. It's not like in soccer or in rugby where really it's just a ceremonial thing. It's the guy who shakes hands at the start. Mm-hmm. In cricket, it's a massive role. And the difference between a good captain and a bad captain is very, very noticeable.
I can imagine. How important is it for the captain to be one of the better players on the team? Does that matter?
Edged, and it's going to be edged away for 4. Well, a spectacular effort from Pratik Attavele, but it's not a great first over from Rafaela. It goes for 10, and with 9 bowled, the score is 55 for 2.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
Zishan Maksud. He's been a thorn in Nepal's side for a long, long time. Definitely towards the autumn or the winter of his career, but still very experienced. One more look at this effort from the keeper. Great, spectacular athleticism. Look at this.
Oh, right off the fingertips. Great effort. But yeah, I was talking about captains, and you were saying how important it is in this sport. And in basketball, I think it's important that the captain is like one of the best players on the team. It doesn't have to always be like that, but I think in general, like on the Spurs, we had Tim Duncan, one of the all-time legendary, probably a top 10 player all-time in the sport of basketball, and he just set the tone for everyone. The coach could coach him. He would hold everybody accountable. It's like that's an all-time legend. If he's, doing X, Y, and Z, I better be doing that too.
Yeah, you better be on it with him. Now, Mala loves left-arm spin. You wonder or suspect he'll take it on pretty soon, but for now he's happy to check it down for a single. In cricket, it's a little bit different because the strategy of the game is so advanced. People have described it as chess on a field. Chess in a 360-degree, massive playing field in conditions that can differ so wildly from country to country. His shake goes down the ground. That's going to be 6. That's
over the
perfect place to hit, and it's going to go all the way. 6 runs to the total.
Yep, they're going to have a hard time finding that ball. Again, we got to look up what road that is back there.
We got Dufferin to the left.
Sign. Watch out for cricket balls. Look at that thing.
And you can see it. Brilliant ball followed by Jeremy up there on the top of the tower, and the ball is indeed lost for the moment.
The camera guy with the umbrella up there had to duck.
But that's where I think something Nepal haven't done particularly well is target straight down the ground. Because that's at this venue where you get good rewards. So, again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we've got 57-metre boundary straight down the ground from the the north end. There's Jeremy up there. Give us a wave, Jeremy.
Yes.
Come on. There you are. Great job up there, my man. And then we've got 65-metre square boundaries, so that's 65 out towards the Dufferin Street Road, so for Asif Sheikh to his leg side. And then 60 metres to the offside where the fans are, and then it's about 60 metres back up towards us at the pavilion end. But just to answer your question a bit more about the captaincy, because you need to have advanced tactical minds and, you know, really be thinking about the game. Sometimes the best players aren't actually particularly good captains. And sides get kind of lulled into that. They're like, oh, well, we've got to make him the captain because he's such a good player. But then he takes it on, and strategically he's not very good. I'm not going to name names, but there's been lots of instances of it over the years. And actually, I think for me, Oman might have maybe fallen into that trap a little bit, because Aki Bilias is probably their best player by a distance, but Zishan Maksud probably has their best cricketing brain, and Zishan Maksud was replaced as captain by Aki Bilias in April, just ahead of their World Cup appearance. So what we've ended up with is maybe a little bit of a drop-off in the quality of strategical thinking from an Omani end, and I know Aki Bilias will consult with Zishan Maksud a lot, but it's a bit different. You want that one solo leader.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. I think when those two things align, it creates a synergy in that position. Is all I'm saying. For sure, like if your best player doesn't have the sport IQ to execute strategies and be a leader.
And as you've seen, cricket is such a complicated game. There's so many facets to it.
Yep.
You know, you talk about the matchups, the left-handed bowlers, right-handed bowlers, which side of the wicket you're going to come, whether you're going to have
so many variables.
A fast bowler or a spin bowler, whether you're going to bowl wrist spin or finger spin. And that's, I guess, for those that get into cricket, that's why they find it so fascinating. And I'll tell you something, no two games are the same. They really aren't.
That's for sure.
So Mala continues to be cautious. A little surprising, he often takes on the left-arm spinners, but it will get us to the halfway stage. Nepal have a platform. Can they capitalise upon it? With 10 bowled, we will have the first drinks break of the first innings. Nepal were inserted to bat, and they have got, at the halfway stage, to 65 for 2.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Azad! TD, ready for you.
Well, we've got an exciting game of cricket on our hands here, don't we, Matt? And I see you've gotten your nickname as well.
Another nickname.
Another nickname,
My
exactly.
Wikipedia page is it's going to be off the chain. But a tremendous honor. I really appreciate all the support from the fans from Nepal that have been relayed to me from Lenny.
What is the nickname again?
What's that?
Yeah, what is the nickname again?
I don't want to mispronounce it.
Lambu Dai, right?
Yeah,
Lambu Dai. That makes sense because Lambu's tall.
Yep.
Tall brother.
I'm glad I asked because I'm Red Mamba. Kobe Bryant gave me the nickname Red Mamba, so I was thinking Mambu, but it's Lambu. So I didn't want to
different regions altogether.
Yes, for sure.
That's the amazing thing about cricket and sport in general, isn't it? There's just so many cultures that you come across, especially internationally. I know you've played a lot of NBA, which is, well, I can't really say it's just based in North America because you definitely have international presence there for players.
It's a worldwide game.
Exactly, and I love what NBA is doing in terms of growing the sport globally. I don't actually remember her name, but she works with the NBA currently. She was also involved with the Toronto Raptors. She helps with the development of the game globally. You may or may not know her, but when the name comes to me, I'll let you know.
Okay, is it Teresa?
It could be.
Yeah, Teresa Resch? Yes.
Yes,
She used to work for actually NBA international operations with my sister and then came over to the Raptors. And, yeah, has done a lot to grow the game here in Canada and all over the world. It's really become a global game. You look at how many international players play in the NBA and how many have won MVPs, made all-star teams, and it's translated into FIBA, which is the international governing body for basketball in terms of the World Cup and the Olympics. It's made it really exciting. It used to be like, for sure, the U.S. is just going to blow everybody out, but now it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how cricket evolves over the coming years with the expansion of the new professional league here in North America. And you mentioned just how fast it's growing here in Canada. And now joining the Olympics, the next Olympics. I think that's really going to put a spotlight internationally on the game.
It's Aqib Ilyas, the skipper, who's going to come in with the ball for Oman. 65 for 2 at the halfway point. Nepal are going to feel quite comfortable with the start.
And honestly, like, as someone new to the sport, the preconceived notion of cricket to the average sports fan in North America is like, well, I'm not going to watch it for a whole day or 2 days or 3 days. So this format, I think, is huge.
Cutaway, and it is in the gap. There's some work to do for both fielders.
Ooh,
and just the outfield a little heavy there. Ball slowing down about 2 feet short of the boundary. You know, cricket's changed quite a bit in the last decade or so. The introduction of the T20 version, the shorter versions, made it, well, just so much more marketable, especially in regions like North America where they're used to the shorter format of sport. Well, that's gone up in the air. Fielder getting under it, and a comfortable catch. That's going to be the 3rd wicket for Nepal, and it's Kushal Malla. Big moment this for Oman, especially after the decent start that Nepal have had. Arif Sheikh, he goes for 25 off 20 deliveries. He got the start in, opening batter for today. Good stand.
Yep, just a few feet short there. I mean, almost kept it going. You see him get down on one knee, scoop it up, just didn't quite have the distance. That would be a warning track catch, as we'd say in baseball, right up against the boundary.
Well, difficult to judge those as well because the rope is right behind you and you don't want to step on the rope because if you do, that's the end of you. And we're just going to wait on getting our graphics taken care of because it is, in fact, Kushal Malla. Sorry, it is, in fact, Asif Sheikh who's gone. I was just getting back to that point about how the game has grown. We've got a lot of franchise cricket in pockets all over the world, similar to the big league that you were talking about coming here in North America. What it means is players from all around the world are now getting the chance to play in teams with players that you wouldn't necessarily expect to. It's Rohit Paudal out to the middle. And the skipper is off the mark with a single.
Yeah, that's important. Being able to play with top competitors. Take a look at that replay. Just a little bit short. Teaches you where you are and like what you need to do to get to that level. And you don't know unless you play against people like that. Like if you're isolated in a pocket and you're the best player, then you just think you're the best player. And then you go play at a higher level like this against some of these guys, and you're like, oh, actually, I'm not that good. This is what I need to get better.
Exactly. You know? And competition, you need to be playing against better competition to keep yourself improving as well. Yep. In fact, it's been a big game changer for the associate world. The associate players are now getting exposure to the top level athletes. Beautiful grip there. Just gripping off the surface, taking the ball away from the right-hander. It's going to be the end of the 11th over. Nepal 70 for 3.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
It's going to be Ayan Khan coming in with the ball. And just going back to that point of the competition and how the franchise setup has really changed cricket for the associate world. There's a lot of the top level athletes from the full members come in and fill the sides. He's gone big and he's gone all the way. 6 more runs here. And it's Kushal Malla.
That was an absolute shot right there. Deep ball. Easy 6. Nepal getting things going offensively here.
When it's good to see that the wicket has not slowed them down here. Ayan Khan into some pressure, giving some width on offer. And Kushal Malla did well to dispatch that. There was a fielder as well at cow corner, just a little wide of him, but the height well over his head. Some good looking shots today.
So
That's gonna be
what
wide.
you're describing with the franchise players getting the top tier players, with that, like in basketball terms, that would be the equivalent of, a league starting in Nepal, and they're going to get an NBA player.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly that. So the full members fill up quite a few of the spots, and then you've got the associates who then fill up the rest of them, and the hosting country will get the rest of the spots. But
That's
what it
pretty
means
cool.
is it's incredible, especially for the associate players who've now gotten the exposure to play with and against high-level athletes, some of the best in the world. It's actually upped the game of the associate world altogether.
Oh, I bet.
And the other thing that T20 cricket's allowed is it's just expanded into a lot of countries that you wouldn't have necessarily seen cricket in. Oh dear. That's going to go down as a missed chance. Cut away, upish. And really a half attempt there at a catch. Just needed half an inch more of a jump, and I think he would have been in contention of that wicket.
Yeah, it looked like he let up a little bit. Like he could have gone after a little bit harder. I mean, that's the third one they probably should have caught that we've seen so far this match.
Yeah, they've not done themselves favors here, Oman, in the field. 2 definite drop catches. That one I'm going to call the drop catch as well. 3 chances put down in this inning so far. And you really have to take these chances at this level of the game. Well, swept and swept all the way. That's 6 runs. In fact, it just misses going over that fence in the deep. It is a party here, and the Nepalese fans are enjoying the show that their players are putting on.
Yeah, they're heating up. Took out the no-frills tent there. Don't you want to make the sponsors mad? But incredible angle here. We haven't seen many like this with that distance. Just gets down, pulls it kind of behind him, up over the fans, into the no-frills tent.
Well, slog swept beautifully by Kushal Malla. Expensive over this from Ayan Khan. We'll finish with a dot ball. It's going to be the end of the 12th, 85 for 3.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
We'll take a quick look at the Nepal batting card so far. Very good opening stand from both openers. 27 apiece for Anil Shah and Asif Sheikh. Dave Kanal, unfortunate for him to not be out there. Short stay. But all in all, a better start with the bat today for Nepal. And they've really navigated this first innings well. Tried to keep their wickets in hand while scoring runs. And we have seen some lusty blows around the ground.
We have. And if yesterday was any indication, you don't need to score a ton of runs if it's going to be a similar trajectory with the way the pitch is playing. Especially if Nepal can duplicate that defensive performance they put on yesterday. So it's nice to see them heating up, giving themselves a chance here.
Flighted, and this might be another one. It is! Straight down the ground, and an easy catch. Kashyap Prajapati in the deep does the work. Yep. And this is going to be the 4th wicket for Nepal.
Yeah,
it's the skipper.
Well hit ball, just perfect positioning on defense. You mentioned that chess match where you put your players out there in the field. Right place, right time, hardly had to move a foot.
Well, he's going to feel that he missed out on this one, Roy Paudel. It was in the slot. It was there to hit. He just didn't get the elevation and the distance. He's gone for 2 of 5 deliveries. It's a short stay for the skipper today. Skipper on skipper, and the Oman skipper comes out on top. Akib Ilyas picks up the wicket. Nepal.
कृपया सबैले एकैसाथ सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिउँ, च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिउँ र मेन्टेनेन्सको लागि चाहिँ हामी थोरै समय लिइरहेका छौँ। च्यानल सब्स्क्राइब गर्नुभएको छैन भने च्यानल सब्स्क्राइब गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ।
Working the ball around, waiting for the loose delivery. And what's been very impressive from the Nepal batters today is despite the fall of wickets, they've kept the runs coming. Just smarter with their approach. Plenty of overs as well. We think about 140 might be par. Yesterday, low-scoring thriller. But I think if they could get close to the 140 mark, they're going to feel comfortable here in Nepal. Yeah. Give themselves something to defend.
I agree.
It's going to be the end of the 13th. Nepal 88 for 4.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation.
No Frills, big sponsor for this T20 series. It's where I shop, Manali, and it's Sunday, so that means I need to go there after this match. And,
pick up some groceries.
My groceries for the week. Shout out No Frills.
Shakil Ahmed comes back into the attack. And a quick single picked up. What would you say has been the most fun part of cricket for you so far?
This is going to sound super basic, and everybody listening is going to be like, come on. But just really finally learning all the rules, basically. And you all have been great, because I've asked 7 million questions yesterday during the match. And now that I understand everything, it's made it so much more exciting.
Testing Kushal Malla. Wanted to go up and over. Ball just skidding through, staying a little low.
You get a piece of
Well, he got a piece of it. It's not where he wanted it to go, but he won't mind it. He's picked up 4 runs here, Kushal Malla. He's dealing in boundaries.
Nice 4 there. Sometimes you get lucky. Got lucky. Got a little, just nicked it. Fielders weren't ready for that. I don't think anyone was. I don't think he was. But yeah, and also this format, you know, you basically got 120 balls, and you got to make everyone count on both ends, defense and offense.
Well, that's going to be wide. Very wide, in fact. Just trying to keep that ball as far away from the hands of Kushal Malla, aiming for that wide off-stump line, going full and wide. Well into the 14th over here. Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, to people who don't quite understand the sport of cricket, I think once you get into it, it's pretty easy to get into it, actually, and not the easiest. Yeah, there are a lot of intricacies. I suppose I feel the same way with my baseball knowledge, to be honest. I mean, I find it a bit simpler than cricket, for sure, but...
Yep. I like the 360 field, too.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more scoring options, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fewer foul balls.
And also, like, the skill of the batters to be able to try to control where in the field they hit it based on the positioning and the angle of the pitch.
Oh, and that just nearly pops up. It's going to be the end of the 14th over. 95 for 4, Nepal.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Well, with 6 overs in the contest to come, we're seeing about try and get to about 140 to be in a comfortable position.
You think I can get my credential to the No Frills T20 series changed to Map Honor and then have Lambu die?
I think that's doable. I think we can make that happen.
Okay.
It's Akavilias into the attack. I'm gonna see what I can do about it. I'll speak to the organizers for you.
And I'm now rooting for Nepal. Everybody listening.
Oh my gosh!
Yep, I have been converted. I'm with Team Nepal. Yep, Nepal plays Canada.
That's a tough one. I'll
be rooting for both teams.
And there's no such thing.
I don't have, yeah, I'm living in Canada, but I don't really have the cricket. This is my first cricket tournament, so, Nepal is kind of taking me in. I might have to be a Nepal fan.
As long as you're with me when I'm standing against Lenny.
Okay. I make zero promises with that.
Played into the leg side. It's going to be another single, and this is a very disappointing side of Matt Bonner.
Is that Momo food truck here today?
Yeah, it is. So. I see the Momo food truck just behind the stands.
Go get some for lunch. I'm in. Honorary Nepal.
Well, the Nepalese fans are going to be excited to hear that Matt Bonner is on their side, looking for momos, that too.
I am. Lambu Dai wants some momos.
Going for the big hit. And it just doesn't have the distance on it. It's Kushal Malla. And he looked so good. Big wicket this. Big moment for Oman. Pegging away at Nepal at regular intervals. Akib Ilyas, the skipper, picks up another wicket to his name.
Yep, another moonshot. Warning track catch. I mean, just a few feet short. Nice hands there. Good positioning. Good strategy by the Oman team in the field, being in the right place at the right time.
They just haven't been able to get the distance, have they? Kushal Malla goes for 30 off 26. The catches that we've seen now in the deep, 3 of them just can't quite clear the boundary when they need to. Nepal 97 for 5 after 14.4, and it's going to be Gulshan Jha walking out to the middle. He's had a good 50 over series, Gulshan Jha. Good with the bat, good with the ball. And he'll want to try and continue from where he left off in that 50 over form. His side still needs another 30 to 40 runs here to be in a comfortable position.
They can do it.
He's bowled well today. Akib Ilyas, 3 for 10 in his 2.4 overs. Had a big moment just the ball before, and a massive impact in the game overall. Always good to see the skipper leading from the front.
Did I miss the drinks break? I missed it.
You did. It was at the 10 over mark. There definitely was one. Actually, we
that's
talked through some of it.
Okay, because I did two
together.
Two broadcast rotations back to back. That's why.
That's the end of the 15th over. Nepal 98 for 5.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
So 5 overs remain here for Nepal. They've had some really good patches of this innings, but a few old habits have died hard as well. Kushal Malla played some extravagant strokes and showed us the quality of his ball striking, but maybe just picked the wrong one to go after with that larger square boundary out to his leg side. And it has left him in a position whereby the final 5 overs are going to be critical and may well end up deciding the course and the context of this match. Kushal Bertel, in his new role, his unaccustomed role in the middle order, having played 45 T20Is and opened the batting every single time with a very good record at a good strike rate. They have shuffled him down to this number 6, and Gulshan Jha back into the team. He's been in great form on this tour. They're going to try and drive Nepal up above 140. Ideally, they'd like 150. They'll need to play well to get there. Arslan Kadir joins me, Andrew Leonard, for these final 5 overs. What are your thoughts been on the first innings? Nepal's kind of difficulties with the bat continue. They just look shy of confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I think Oman hasn't let themselves down with the catches. They dropped too early on, but they've taken all their catches since, and Nepal just not able to get any momentum into their innings whatsoever. They've got starts. A couple of their players have got starts. Anil Shah, Asif Sheikh, they both got starts, just unable to carry on. Kushal Malla, he looked good out there as well. Just need somebody to put their hand up. Somebody to get something going for Nepal. Kushal Bertel, more than the ability to do it. Same with Gulshan Jha. We saw that in the ODIs for Gulshan Jha with that 50. They've got to put their hands up here for them.
I think one of the problems is when you're adjusting to a new role, the difference between batting in the power play when there's 2 fielders outside the circle, the batting here, whether it's in the middle overs or at the death, the cheers are going around the ground for the 100 coming up. It's just a completely different mindset approach. The selection of shots that you're looking at, your range of strokes are different. So Bertel may take some adjustment. The thing that surprised me is that they've not just shifted him down the order, he also didn't bowl the other day. And you think about his performances in the World Cup with his leg breaks, he was close to unplayable against South Africa. This is edged away. Now, Kalimullah didn't react quickly at all. He's right in front of us. I don't think he picked it up at first. And that slight delay in picking it up is going to cost at least a couple of runs as Jha gets a crucial boundary.
Yeah, an important boundary for Nepal there. Just finding the outside edges. Ahmad Faz, but all along the ground. And Kalimullah, that big frame, he's got a big long way to go down. He's just shy of Lambudai. He's not as tall as Lambudai, but he does have a long way to get down there, Lenny, and just not fast enough on that occasion.
Yeah, I think Cally Mull's about 6'4", 6'5", not quite the 6'9", 6'10" that Matt Bonner has got on him. We'll get a photo of those two later.
कृपया योसिन टिभीको च्यानलमा नयाँ हुनुहुन्छ भने सबैले सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनु हुन म एकदमै अनुरोध गर्दछु। आउने जति पनि नेपालको म्याचेसहरू रहनेछ त्यो सबै नेपाल म्याचहरू हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ र यसै गरी चौका छक्काहरू पनि योसिन टिभीमै हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। धन्यवाद।
Boundaries, momentum coming for Nepal.
We said somebody's got to put their hand up. Gulshan Jha. I like the change from Rohit Patel and thinking from the Nepal squad. Get him back in the team. He's a young cricketer, quality cricketer, both with bat and ball. And right now it's with the bat, 2 back-to-back boundaries for him. Lovely shot. Shot of the day so far, Lenny?
Yeah, but you just look at the intent. There's a different intent, isn't there? He's always trying to be positive. You have to remember how young Gulshan Jha still is. Tender in years. He's been through an awful lot this summer. Oh, and that would have been 4 more, barring the right boot of Ahmed Fayez Butt, who has worn it, I think, right on the toe.
Yeah, Ahmed Fayez Butt limps in the best of days. He might be limping a little bit after that hit there as well. But saved 4 runs for his team. But you're right about the intent there, Lenny. I think that's one thing that we've seen, especially from the young Nepali side. They can really push, and intent doesn't have to be boundaries. Run the singles hard, get the 2s, especially with the fresh legs that they have. Push this Oman team. They're a lot more tender in age, I will say. You can push them a little bit more, and that's going to build the innings, something that we haven't really seen from Nepal so far on this tour to Canada.
Good bouncer. Just rush Jha for pace. Cally Mulla does the fielding again down at deep third. Gets us to the end of the 16th. It is 109 for 5.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
So 4 overs remain. So 4 overs remain for Oman. There is the bowling card thus far. The problem has been Rafiola has not done what his captain would have liked. Great to see Aki Bilias back into bowling form, who had a few difficulties in the ODIs, but again...
यदि हजुरहरू हाम्रो च्यानलमा नयाँ हुनुहुन्छ भने कृपया सबैले एकैसाथ सब्स्क्राइब गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ।
Again, it's that additional positive intent. It's the longest corner of the ground, and he gets enough to get 6.
Yeah, he did just a little bit, didn't he, Gulshan Jha? He really wanted to hit that square. Never any intention to keep that down. Wanted to get it all the way. The big boundary down there gets low and launches it over deep backward square leg.
The modern way, isn't it? You take on the fielder in the deep, ball spinning into him. This time it's the googly. Jha may not have picked it. It doesn't matter because he's smashed it high and handsome. Back-to-back 6s. Pressure on Aki Bilias. And the Nepali flag, it's flying high in King City thanks to this young man, Gulshan Jha.
Back-to-back boundaries in the last over. Back-to-back big ones in this over. Gulshan Jha, he's giving those Nepali fans, the flags are waving. Have a look there. They're happy with it. He's giving them something to celebrate here. Gulshan Jha just bringing the impetus to this Nepali innings.
It was definitely the googly, wasn't it, from Aki Bilias? You could see it out of the back of the hand, but Jha just played the same stroke. Look at it there. That's the first. In fact, that's the second one. Get down on the slog sweep. And Jha just measures himself. Slight change in the field. Another man to come over to the leg side. Gets it full enough to not go for 6 more. Will be a single. Amazing to think of Dipender Singh Airi hidden all the way down at number 8.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. It's one of those things. As we look at that 6, what a hit that was from Gulshan Jha. There's too many options, you would say. It's a lot of all-rounders in the squad. A lot of people like bowl and bat.
I think it's something Nepal fans have had a bit of frustration with because of the... I think Monty Desai wants them to have a flexible order, but some batters maybe not certain of what their roles are at times as a consequence. I think a lot of it is around trying to maintain a left-hand, right-hand combination throughout. So usually Rohit Paudel would have come in at number 4, but instead they went with Mala at 4 to get the left-hander in, and then as soon as Mala departed, rather than it being Dipender Singh Airi, in comes Gulshan Jah.
Gulshan Jah proving him right at this state. If he keeps going like this, he'll get past 150 comfortably, but he has to keep going for his team.
He's the first batter across the 2 T20s now. We're into the second game of the Snow Frills T20 Cup. First batter to strike at more than 2 runs per ball, and he's done it really from the moment he walked to the crease.
Yeah, there's some turn-on offer there as well. So Sandeep Lamichhane, he'll be having a look. Akabilias, first 3 overs, took 3 for, but Gulshan Jah has taken a liking to him in this over.
Now, Kushal Bertel is trying to join the party. He's got it square enough, and he gets it all the way. 6 more. It's the 3rd 6 of the over. Oman's captain taken to the cleaners in his 4th and final. The over's gone for 21. Nepal are on the charge. It's 130 for 5.
Seva is giving back to the community, making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's the no-frills thing to do.
What an over that was, Arsalan Kadir, for Nepal. Is that potentially a momentum shifting over? It's 160 odd days they're waiting for a win in international cricket. Nepal. Is today the day?
It's a long way to go, and what a day it would be to do it. I want to give Nepal something to cheer about. Obviously, a lot going on back home. And the fans here, they're loving this from Gulshan Jah in Nepal. Akabilias, he's 3 for 11 in 3 overs. He's now 3 for 32. Kushal Bertel didn't get all of it, you would say, on the last ball, but you don't need to get all of it. Just a couple of centimeters beyond the boundaries, all it took. 6 runs to him.
And again, that's the shorter side for the right-hander. So that this is where the left-hand, right-hand combination comes in so cleverly. So something that we didn't see Nepal do with any effect yesterday was that sweep shot, as a slog sweep. But Bertel and Jah have shown that it can be played. We didn't feel it was a bad surface yesterday. We've stayed on the same one. Still not quite sure how Nepal failed to chase down that 124 that they needed to win. They've got a lot more than that already. 3 to go. And Kalimulla comes into the attack, and he's given the same treatment. It's the larger side of the ground, and it matters not. It's 6 more. It's the Gulshan Jah show in King City.
Gulshan Jah, welcome to the party. At no point was there any intention to keep this down. Up and over, there are 2 men out there. One at third man at deep point. And he says, don't worry about it. I'll hit this over the rope. Gulshan Jah on a roll here for Nepal.
Well, this is why you've got to keep the faith. We heard Matt Bonner earlier, didn't we, talking about those periods of your professional sporting career where you just can't seem to find momentum or victories, and you've just got to keep pressing. That's exactly what this youngster's doing. What a tour he's having. Scores of 15, 53 and 34 in the ODIs, alongside 7 wickets with the ball. And now, right from the off, as soon as he walked to the crease, he's showing all of his dexterity and his brilliance with his left-handed batting. This is a superb innings. 31 off just 11.
And you can see the plan for Kalimulla. There's 2 men out, square the boundary on the offside. He's going to go wide and full here again. And he didn't miss by much, Lenny. Just a couple of centimeters he missed by, and it went all the way. It was enough for Gulshan Jah to get under it. But you can see the plan is clear. Wide outside the off stump. Get him hit into that offside. Gulshan Jah, the form that he's in, and as he's showing us, forms really confidence, isn't it, Lenny? And those couple of boundaries there, but couple of sixes.
You think of what he's been through. You think of St. Vincent. You think of the heartbreak. You think of the hopes and dreams of 30+ million fans riding ultimately in that final over on his shoulders. They've never beaten a Test nation, and they came, agonisingly close. And actually, the way in which he was almost pilloried as the the one who didn't get Nepal over the line. It wasn't his job. They were 88 for 2, needing 4.8 runs and over with 5 overs left. They should have done that every single time. It shouldn't have come down to the last over, let alone the last ball. And actually, he hit one over the offside that went for 4, that got them to within touching distance. And then he nearly repeated the dose. It went for 2. And then the misfortune with what happened on the last ball, the ball colliding into his back, deflecting away to a fielder. I don't think you could blame him. And now he's shown his mental resilience and his brilliance with the bat. It's 4 more. Gulshan Jah putting on a clinic.
Yeah, full toss. The plan's not working here for Kalimullah. He's got to change it up here. Just not finding his areas. He's missing full toss on this occasion. And Gulshan Jah moving across his stumps. Going to hit this straight back over the bowler. And I'm not sure about the effort here, Lenny. The dive has to be put in.
He's done it twice in his short career. He went to an under-19 World Cup for Nepal in January, and he had, well, a horror show. He just couldn't get a run to save his life, and I think he went down with a lot of expectations there. Having already played so much senior international cricket, he was expected to really lead the way. Couldn't get a run, and what Monty decided there was he sent him away for a week, back home to his family, back out of the Kathmandu Valley, and he looked refreshed, and he came back, and he was brilliant in the ODIs and T20Is through February, March. So I've just got to pay tribute to his mental resilience for such a young man. Really, really impressive. Going to be another wide. You can see the plan. Not easy to execute for Kalimullah. Oman, the wheels are well and truly off here.
Yeah, they're definitely. We were talking about 140, 150 a little bit earlier, Lenny. They're going to get well past this now. They're looking at 170, 180. You would have to say from here on forth the way Gulshan Jah is going. 35 off 13. You're 100% correct, Lenny. It's very difficult once you go through a hard time, not scoring any runs. He's all-rounder as well, so you've got both assets to play with, but just that confidence. And the one thing with runs will lead into his bowling as well, so he'll go into that innings with the confidence. You just need to turn it off sometimes, don't you?
But you think about the fact he's still a teenager. He's played, we'll just talk about this format firstly. He's played 33 times, 34 if you include today. This has gone a long way up. I think it's going to just about land safely. I wouldn't exactly call that an inspirational effort from Khalid Kale, and great running from Gulshan Jah gets him back for 2. In those 27 innings now, across the 34 games, have a look at this. He's batted 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So it can't be easy, particularly for someone so young, to adjust to all those different things. It really can't. And you see the partnership here, 47 off 18.
Yeah, 37 of those to Gulshan Jah, 37 off 14. And I think he's given Kushal Patel some confidence as well, the way he's come out and struck this ball. But you're right, the only consistency there is change, isn't it? You don't know where you're going to bat, and he's come in.
But you talk about how difficult that is, particularly as a young cricketer. But for him to have that, I suppose, dexterity, that flexibility to be able to adjust and adapt to a situation. Okay, he didn't get his side over the line ultimately against South Africa, and that was where the biggest microscope was. There was hundreds of thousands of fans gathered in public parks across all of Nepal, dreaming of a first ever win over a Test nation, and you couldn't come closer. It was probably the game of the whole tournament in many ways. But for him to have that resilience, to come back, play the way in which he has here, it shows a great self-belief. It also shows, I think he's got good people around him. And Monty Desai, who manages these young men so cleverly, so tenderly, and with such compassion. I know it's been a difficult period, 160 games without a win. But there's going to be brighter days ahead. Kalimullah wants the LBW. He's almost imploring the umpire. But given not out, wait for the signal, given his leg buys. What happened here, Arslan? Did he get outside the line, maybe?
Yeah, we'll have a look. See if we can have a look here in a second. But Kalimullah, he was pleading. He wants that wicket. And just have a look. Yeah, certainly looks well. That's going to miss 6 stumps, in my opinion.
Good decision again. He's been exceptional. I tell you, the 2 home umpires, been very impressed with them.
Arnold Madela has been doing it for a long time here. Doesn't say much, does he?
61 years of age. He's looking great. How is he in his 60s? I thought he was in his late 40s.
Hey, he looks great. He looks great, doesn't he?
He's living good. He must be living good.
We'll be happy if we look like that in 61.
I can assure you I'm not going to look as good as Arnold Medella looks if I get to my 60s. I think with all the air miles I'm clocking up, I might not even get there. This has been an expensive over. Lots of extras. And we saw, again, Canada and Nepal exceptional with that yesterday. They kept things very, very tight. I think Oman, a little bit like Nepal, they're going through a difficult period. They might be getting the game taken away from them here. This one squirts away. Should be a couple more. So he's already moved to 39 from just 15 deliveries. What an impact he's had in this game. It's 149 for 5. "50 partnerships up, and it actually came initially off just 19 balls, but now 52 off 20. How good has this been, particularly from Gulshan Jha?
You might say that. What did Matt say yesterday? TSN turning point. This might be a TSN turning point for Nepal. This partnership has really put him in the ascendancy. You would have to say, being asked to bat first, being asked to put a score on the board. This partnership has taken them over what you would say is a par total on this wicket, and it's just looking to get more and more. Put the real pressure on Oman.
I was also talking to Matt yesterday about the kind of one big over that can change the game, and you just sense that he's just slapped away. Going to be 4 more. Everything must go right now, and Bertel is showing a little bit of form in his new role in the middle order. And these men and women in the crowd, they are euphoric.
And you brought up the 160 days, Lenny. It has never been about ability. It has been a little bit mental. You would have to say some of those demons have come in. They've gotten precariously close on a number of occasions. As Canadian fans, anytime there's a close Canada-Nepal game, Nepal always ends up on top. So I was a little bit satisfied that we were able to get over the line. You brought up the South Africa game. They've been close. They've been so close. They just need that one game, and you could see them just kicking on from there, especially for a young side. That confidence is going to breathe through that squad.
150's come up now as well. Gets away with a clever piece of bowling, bowled into the surface and just given us the one for the over. Yeah, I had a good chat to Monty Desai this morning, actually, and we were, being honest with you, we were mainly talking about, well, just how distressed both of us were about a place that we both adore, Kathmandu and Lalapur, the twin cities that make up the capital, the devastation back there. We were mainly talking about that, but he did say to me at the end, Lenny, you know something, one of the big things I always try to say to my boys, it's not necessarily about the results. That's obviously what attracts the attention. It's all about how we carry ourselves, how we conduct our processes, and the development that we're making. And I think he's continuing to see that development as really aggressive running from Bertel is going to get them back not just for 2, but they'll get back for 3. And that's one of the biggest cheers of the day. There's nothing quite like an overthrow to get the crowd going. And that is going to be given as 3 runs, maybe some bat involved.
I'm not too sure if Kushal Bertel got anything on that, but he's got the runs to his name. Yeah, a little comedy there in the end. They come through for 3. Ahmed Faz, but he's not a happy camper right now out there, I'll tell you that.
We were calling them, what were we calling them? The baddie in the movies, weren't we? They're the villain, Ahmed Faz.
Let's have a look here. Did he get anything on this, Lenny?
Don't know. I think if anything, it might have flicked the pad, but ultimately it's given us runs. Bertel will take them. I actually like that aggressive piece of running. You might have said, okay, well, hold on, it would have been out with a direct hit, but they've got wickets in hand, they've got Dipender Singh Ari up their sleeve, and they turn 1 into 3. And we'll just have a slight break in play. All of a sudden, the wheels well and truly off, aren't they, for Oman? There's been some good bowling, but for me, I think their fielding's let them down, those drop catches, and look at the economy rates of everyone, really, with the exception of Ishan Maksud. Is that a miscount? Why has he only bowled 3 overs?
Yeah, you would have to say it is one that I think they wanted to get the balls in. And the other one that they've been really let down by is that 1 over from Rafiullah. He was somebody they're looking for. Came in from Mehran Khan. We saw what Mehran Khan did at the World Cup, especially in the middle and death overs. He was somebody that Oman counted on, and he has just been nobody that they could rely on at all. There he sees the first drop catch from the man that's with the ball in hand right now. In the first over.
I thought for that one he had to go to Anzi. I know you were on call at the time. We're going to come back live with you. That was the second drop catch. as it's a perfect Yorker. That's where they're trying to nail it, the depth. They're trying to hit that block hole. Almost impossible to play when you get it right. Get a look at the second drop catch. This, for me, was more unforgivable and a completely, just a misjudgment in the deep, wasn't it?
Yeah, just absolutely no balance in that whatsoever. That's a replay Khalid Kale will not want to watch later, I'll tell you that, Lenny.
The only thing I'll say is, on this outfield, it is quite undulating, and it can be difficult to kind of get your bear. It's a bit up and down, isn't it? And it's a bit soft, quite heavy out there, too.
Lenny, we're playing international cricket.
I'd have caught that.
Yeah. I'd have my money on the ball.
Whipped into the leg side. Protection out there, so should just be the single this time. Can Oman chase this down if Nepal end up with, let's say, 170?
I've got the ability. You wouldn't put them out of it. The one thing I've learned about associate cricket, Lenny, and I think you know this better than anybody, do not count your eggs before they hatch.
No,
what's the saying there? I'm going to ruin it, but
your
chickens before they hatch. There we go. I think that's it.
Well, Manali Patel's claiming that it's don't count the chickens before they hatch. That's probably wrong then.
Yeah,
it'll be some Canadianism.
Lenny, you've got Lambu Dai on your side. I'm going to be on Manali's side here. She's 100% right.
I've got to say, I love the Lambu Dai shout. Don't count your maple syrup
before the sap runs.
Okay. Got to get some maple syrup before I go home. Final ball of the 19th. Full toss, put down the ground, but protection out there. Going to be just 1 over remaining. It is a 9-run 19th. It's 158 for 5.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. TD, ready for you.
Of this No Frills T20 Cup, and Nepal will be looking to finish in some grand style. They'd love 170 plus. They might even be thinking of 175. It's been, well, a virtuoso performance. Yes, credit to Kushal Bertel for the way he's teamed up with Gulshan Jha, but the youngster, the teenager, he's completely changed this match, hasn't he?
He certainly has. He's put all the momentum on Nepal's side. He's taken them over a par score. He's put them in the lead here, you'd have to say. Just a change of tactics here from Akib Ilyas. Kalimullah, he had his hat off. He was ready to come in, and it looks like it's going to be the left arm spin of Shakil Ahmed to bowl the 20th.
Yeah,
I don't know about this.
I can understand the concept because I don't think it's an injury for Kalimullah. He was good to go. But it feels a bit like pace on the ball has kind of gone the distance, isn't it?
Surprised this morning they left out Imran Khan, I would have to say. He didn't have a great time in the ODIs.
Yeah,
but this is his format.
This is him. This is T20 cricket. And he had a brilliant World Cup. Absolutely outstanding World Cup. And that was Oman's last T20Is. And that was in what was a pretty disappointing campaign, probably barring the thrilling tie against Namibia. They did have a really good innings against Australia too, in fairness. They restricted Australia very heavily. In fact, they could well have won that game at some stages of it. Shakil Ahmed will come in to bowl his 4th. Bertel will look to hit straight, you would suspect. Comes across it, protection out there, and holes out. That's a good catch held in the deep, and an interesting celebration. Maybe one of, quiet down, Nepal fans. We've had enough cheering from you.
That's Ayan Khan out there, isn't it? And he was right in front of the hospitality tent against the Nepal fans, and he was having a long conversation with them. So I agree, but Kushal Bertel looking to go over the top. It's a big boundary. That's the bigger boundary for the right-hander. Yeah. I like it, Lenny. Adding a little spice to the competition.
6 wicket falls. It is 158 for 6 as Bertel, he departs for 20.
You were asking for him a little bit earlier there, Lenny. Depinder Singh Airi, he's going to walk out there now. He's got 5 balls. But you've got to say, probably maybe push for the single and just let Gulshan Jha have the last 4 deliveries.
Yeah, I think it's a funny one, isn't it? Depinder Singh Airi is a man who's hit 6 sixes and an over. He can clear any boundary anywhere in the world, but actually his job here, because of the fact that it's Shakil Ahmed bowling and the hot streak that Gulshan Jah is on, he's got to get a single. And he's so quick. He can, any bat on ball here, basically to anywhere in the 30-yard circle is one. So no need to have a swing. Just get some bat on it and get Gulshan Jah on for the last 4 balls. And that is not a particularly clever piece of cricket, I have to say. You just need to drop and run. Hirez may be the fastest in the world game. Big swing and a miss.
Yeah,
Good start from Ahmed.
And again, the momentum has been on their side for the last 4 overs since we've come on air, Lenny.
Tries to get 6. He may well have got it down the ground. He says, Lenny, you eat your words. I'm going to pongo him all the way for a maximum. What a strike from the one and only Dipendra.
What do we know, Lenny? What do we know? There's a reason we're here and they're out there, Lenny. And Dipendra Singh Hirez says, I'll launch this over the top. Short boundary there. Gets it over the sight screen. And we might have to get another ball on field.
I do think this is something Nepal have throughout the order. I know there's been indifferent performances, lots of starts from their batters. They have definitely made a conscious decision to try and hit straighter. And that is reading the conditions. They're finally adjusting to those conditions and recognising, hold on, we've got a big disparity with the boundary distances, particularly from this end. I also think it's a misstep from Oman, bowling the 20th and final from this end. 57 metres is all it is straight. Hirez goes bang for 6. And he's going to go bang again. This is massive. Oh, it's out of the ground. It's over the retaining net. New balls, please, the call. Hirez. Oh, yes.
Hirez, 9-ball 50 he had. He doesn't need that today. He just wants to keep launching them for 6. And he's doing it so well. And you're right, Lenny. They're hitting straight. And I thought that might be the advantage for them. He spent a lot of time here in Canada over the last few months. And look at this. Bang goes Dipendra Singh Hirez.
That is right out of the screws. That retaining net there, never great with height. It's probably about 20 metres high, if not maybe 25. And that has gone soaring, not only over at Arsalan, but actually continuing to go up as it goes by it. And that is an extraordinary stroke. And look at the swagger of Dipendra Singh Hirez. You have to love the Tiger. He's at it again.
What a brilliant cricketer he is. Bat, ball in the field. He's dynamic, and he's showing us why. 170 for 6 now, Lenny. 19.4, 2 balls to go. Can he go again? I suspect he will go again. He's not going to slow down here. It's a brilliant effort from Dipendra Singh.
Well, 170 is crossed, and this is much more like it. And I'll tell you something, the curation team here are going to breathe a heavy sigh of relief. They thought it was an excellent pitch yesterday. They couldn't understand why it was 120, played 110. But it's been very different today, and credit to them for sticking with this same surface. 2 balls remaining. Hirez is going to get 4 more. 6-6-4, what a little cameo. He says to Monty Desai, don't hide me away at number 8. I need more balls than that. This is a brilliant finish from Nepal.
Dipendra Singh Hirez. He's throwing the kitchen sink, the oven, everything at that one. Just gets the top, the edge. Zishan Maksud had no chance. 4 more runs to the total. 1 ball to go here. This is going again, Lenny. There's no chance. This is going again.
Well bowled, Shakil Ahmed. I think they'll probably try and run 2. And Dipendra Singh Hirez is so quick. Look at him. He's going to get there. It's quite ridiculous how fast he is, and he'll sprint off with a swagger in his step as he's pumped 18 from just 5 deliveries. Who are we to say he should have taken the single? That has answered that for us. What a flying finish, a phenomenal assault from Nepal across the final 5 overs. We were talking about them aiming to maybe try and get up to 140 or ideally 150. But remarkably, the last 5 overs, Arsalan, they've gone for 78. And that's primarily thanks to those 2 men on your screen, Gulshan Jah and
है त T20 वर्ल्ड कप पछिको लगभग एकदमै राम्रो पर्फर्मेन्स भनेर आजको गेमले चाहिँ मान्न सकिन्छ, जसमा 170/6 विकेट 20 ओभरमा रहेको छ। र के लाग्छ, हामीले लगभग जित्ने एकदमै धेरै सम्भावना देखिन्छ यो गेम, किनकि उतातिर पनि युएईले धुलाई हानिरहेको खाइरहेको के कुराहरू पनि सुन्दै आइरहेको छ। र हजुरहरूले आफ्नो प्रक्रिया पनि राख्न सक्नुहुनेछ कमेन्टमा गएर चाहिँ। थ्याङ्क यू दाजुभाइहरू फाइनल्ली हगेर गाइज कमेन्ट अब चाहिँ हजुरहरूको कमेन्टहरू चाहिँ हामी पढ्छौँ। लगभग 2 रनबाट वञ्चित भएका छन् गुलसन कुमार झा। एकदमै राम्रो पर्फर्मेन्स थियो हाम्रो नेपाली टिमको लागि चाहिँ सेभियर भन्न पनि सकिन्छ। एकदमै राम्रो प्रस्तुति देखाएकोमा हामी आज गुलसन कुमार झालाई लगभग नेपालले जित्यो भने प्लेयर अफ द म्याच त अभियसली भइ नै हाल्छ। र हजुरहरूले गुल्लु र टाइगरलाई धन्यवाद लेखिरहनु भएको छ। लाइभ दिने ब्रोलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। 3 घण्टादेखि उहाँले यही कुरा भनिरहनु भएको छ। हजुरलाई पनि धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। र हजुरहरूले अब अपोनेन्ट टिमको स्कोर चाहिँ कतिसम्म हुनसक्छ भनेर पनि प्रिडिक्ट गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। अपोनेन्ट टिमले कतिको स्कोर हान्न सक्छ त्यो कुराले पनि म्याटर गर्न सक्छ। किन भन्दा अहिले यो गेमको पोइन्टहरू पनि त्यो अनुसारको जान सक्छ। हामीलाई रन रेटमा धेरै फरक पर्न सक्छ। त्यो भएको भएर सक्दो हामीले एकदम कम रनमा हामीले ओमनलाई प्याक गर्यो भने हामीले आउने दिनहरूमा अलिकता सजिलो हुनसक्छ। किनकि ब्याक टु ब्याक नेपालले म्याच हारेको भएर यतातिर त्यो सबै म्याचेसहरू चाहिँ हजुरहरूले युसी टिभीमा हेर्न पाउनुहुनेछ। आउने दिनहरूमा फुटबल क्रिकेटहरूको जति पनि इभेन्टहरू रहनेछ त्यो सबै हजुरहरूले यसमा हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। र स्पेसली हाम्रो काम भने चाहिँ नेपालभन्दा बाहिरकोलाई अलिक मान्यता दिने तरिकाले देखाउने चाहिँ हाम्रो काम हो। किन भन्दा नेपालभित्र चाहिँ अलमोस्ट सबै स्पोर्टहरू हेर्न मिल्छ, नेपाल बाहिर मिल्दैन। एनपिएल चाहिँ लाइभ गर्ने कि नगर्ने त्यसको बारेमा चाहिँ भनौँ त। एनपिएल लाइभ गर्ने कि नगर्ने हामीले हजुरहरूले भनिदिनु पर्यो। हामी यसमा लाइभमा गर्नेछौँ। हाम्रो यो युसिन टिभी भनेर मात्रै हजुरको च्यानल रहेको छ। त्यो च्यानलमा चाहिँ हजुरहरूले सब्सक्राइब गरेर राख्न सक्नुहुन्छ, एकदम टपमा आउनेछ। र यो भनेको चाहिँ लाइभको लागि मात्रै हो। अपकमिङ जति पनि लाइभ स्ट्रिमिङहरू रहनेछ त्यो सबै हामीले यसमा चाहिँ प्रोभाइड गर्नेछौँ। त्यो भएको भएर पछिको लागि सोच्नुहुन्छ भने हजुरहरूले अहिले नै च्यानल सब्सक्राइब गर्नु पर्यो। सबैले एकैचोटि लेखिदिनु पर्यो है, लाइभ गर्ने कि नगर्ने भनेर। किनकि हजुरहरूको इच्छा चाहना अनुसार हामीले प्रोभाइड गर्ने हो। अब हेर्ने मान्छेहरू छैन भने त हामीले देखाउँदा खासै मतलब हुँदैन नि त। त्यो भएको भएर लाइभ गर्ने कि नगर्ने त्यो हजुरले कमेन्टमा चाहिँ लेखिदिनु पर्यो। सेसनहरू रहनेछ, त्योहरूदेखि लिएर सबै कुराहरू हजुरहरूले हाम्रो युसिन टिभीको लाइभ च्यानलमा चाहिँ भेट्नुहुनेछ है त। त्यो भएको भएर एकचोटि म हजुरहरूलाई फेरि रिक्वेस्ट गर्न चाहन्छु, जसले नेपाल प्रिमियर लिग लाइभ हेर्न चाहनुहुन्छ उहाँहरूले चाहिँ सब्सक्राइब गर्नु नै गर्नु है त। नेपालभित्रकोलाई म त्यति साह्रो भन्दिनँ, किनकि उहाँहरूकोमा थुप्रै मिडियमहरू हुनसक्छ। लगभग हाम्रो टिम ग्राउन्डभित्र छिरिसक्यो है। निलो जर्सी एकदमै लगभग त्यो क्रिकेटको पिचको वरिपरि घुमिरहेको छ। स्टार्ट हुन्छ, त्यसपछि हामी हजुरहरूले अफिसियली लाइभ मजाले कमेन्ट्री सुनेर गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। त्योभन्दा पहिले धेरै मान्छेले चाहिँ गर्ने लेखिरहनु भएको छ, सो हामीले गर्नु पर्ला है। लगभग गेम सुरु भइसक्यो। अब हाम्रो यो कुराकानी बिचमा गरौँला। म्याच सुरु भइसकेको छ है त, कन्टिन्यू गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। करण केसी बलिङमा आइसकेका छन् र मलाई एकचोटि सबैले कमेन्ट गर्नुहोस्। हामीले आफ्नो कमेन्ट गरौँ या टक्लु दाईको कमेन्ट ठिक छ? सबैले एकचोटि लेख्नु पर्यो, छिटो लेख्नु पर्यो।
And it's Karan Casey with the ball. Well, he's asked questions early, and it's been given. It's
दामी है, प्लिज मैले इन्टरप्ट गरेँ। पहिलो बलमा नै विकेट गइसकेको छ है। के प्रजापति भन्नेको पहिलो बल एकदमै सुरुको बलले चाहिँ विकेट लिइसकेको छ। अमेजिङ है, अमेजिङ, खतरा, दामी।
Getting the wicket. See Team Nepal pumped up. Fans are pumped. Fans are running back from the Momo food truck to cheer on their team.
How close was this?
Lambu Dai is cheering on Team Nepal as well.
Back of a length, and it looked like it might have just been clipping that off stump. This is a tight call.
It is a tight call.
Nonetheless, Oman have lost their first for no runs on the board. First wicket down, and Karan Casey gets the breakthrough.
Yeah, we talk about in this format taking advantage on these early balls where you're down the fielders, less fielders. So great start. Team Nepal really put on a performance yesterday, bowling, fielding, their defense, and hoping to duplicate that performance and get the big W today.
Well, the batting was so incredible from the Nepal side today, wasn't it? Top to bottom. Really put the pressure on Oman. Ball angling into the right-hander. First wicket early on. And Oman are going to be under some pressure here. Shoaib Khan, he's off the mark. He's picked up a single.
Going back to knowing, we were talking to Lenny, you win the coin toss, you elect to pitch first, or bowl first, field first, so that you know what you need to get. This is an example where this is to Oman's advantage. They know they need to be ultra aggressive and try to hit 176 runs. So they got to take chances, I think.
When they won the toss and they chose to have a bowl, they certainly weren't expecting Nepal to pile on the runs in this fashion.
Not, for sure.
Left alone, and from the get-go, there's pressure on Oman. They're going to have to be going at 9 runs and over to keep this chase in some sort of control. Still early days, but when you lose a wicket this early, it really puts you on the back foot. It's a different side that we're seeing here in Nepal, aren't we, in the T20s? Very defensive, very hesitant in the 50-over games, but they've really come out all guns blazing in the T20s. Yesterday as well, incredible performance with the ball first up against Canada. And that's going to be a wide. And then today, I mean, there was no stopping them with the bat. Incredible innings from Gulshan Jha towards the end. 40 off just 17 deliveries. Dipender Singh Airy, 18 off 5.
Yeah, just a huge breakthrough with the bats.
That makes a big difference, too, if you've got that opening partnership between the two.
Yeah, they were on fire. Talk about momentum. Hitting's contagious. Lenny and I were talking just about the confidence of this Nepalese team with the bats. And how you just gotta keep that positive mindset, keep being about the right things, controlling what you can control, and eventually that rock will split in two, and that's what we saw with those last 5 overs.
Skipper Akib Ilyas is out in the middle with the bat, opening the batting for his side today. He went for a few runs. Did pick up wickets, 3 wickets to his name today. 32 runs in his 4 overs. It's going to be just the 1 run here. Oh dear, you don't see misfields very often from the Nepal side, and this one's just allowed for an additional run.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between a successful ball and unsuccessful. Just the way the math works, if you're in Nepal, you're perfectly happy giving up a single with each ball. What you can't do is make unforced errors like that. Those are the types of things that, over time, could let Oman, not just back in the game with the runs, but start to give them confidence, help them, give them some momentum with the bats.
Dot ball to end the first over. Oman 5 for 1.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. TD, ready for you.
see TD supporting cricket in schools. I got to tell you a story, Manali. When I was on the Raptors, so this is like 20 years ago. I know I don't look that old. I was doing a community event with the Toronto Police Department, doing a basketball clinic at a high school after school in Brampton, Ontario, a large suburb of Toronto. And I'm waiting in the parking lot for school to get out. Bell rings, kids come running out of the school. They're flying into the field. And I'm thinking they're going to play soccer, baseball, who knows. Ultimate Frisbee? No. They start playing pickup cricket games out there in the field after school. And I had never seen that in my life. So it's pretty cool.
Bit of a loose delivery from DeCall to start. Low full toss. Just costing them a single. Yeah, cricket's really exploded. And you're talking 20 years ago. So just goes to show it's been around for a long time. Facility giving us a space, the help. They've played a big hand in growing the sport of cricket.
I think, any sport that gets kids off screens, outside in the fresh air, getting some sunlight, working together, teamwork, building confidence, leadership skills, communication skills. Just seems like the way kids have so many distractions these days that are just, in my opinion, just unproductive for their development. That any sport that's growing, we should support it.
And we're starting to see so many kids spend all their time indoors on devices, things that we really didn't do growing up, outside playing.
Well, it wasn't an option.
Around. It's true. But have you noticed, you just mentioned you've been going to schools. Have you noticed that the mechanics of kids running, the hand-eye coordination isn't quite the same that it used to be back in the day?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it, just learning how to move your bodies. Like the muscle memory, neurological pathways of that. So important to get that when you're younger. And the only way you get that is by playing sports, playing multiple sports. And I'm not. It doesn't just have to be organized sports. Like, you go to the park. What are the kids playing? All right, I'm jumping in, and you figure it out. You just don't see that as much these days.
Oh, back in the day, you got home, you threw your backpack, got on your bicycle, and go to a friend's place.
That's right. Come back at supper.
That's right.
You knew if you stuck around the house, parents would rope you into doing chores.
Flicked off the pads. And it's singles. Oman, they're having a bit of a slow start out there after that early wicket. Thanks to some probing bowling from Nepal.
Nepal is just again, it's just mental. Between the ears, stay focused. Don't let up. We saw with their last 5 overs, all it takes is a little hot streak can get Oman right back into the game. So Nepal looking to stay focused and not give them that, or at least limit the chances of that happening.
One final delivery to come in this over. And DeCall want to finish strong. Just the 4 runs off of it so far. And this is slog swept, and this might be a chance, and it's a wicket. He's gone. Akibilias tried to finish the over on a high, and he just ends up finding the hands of a fielder in the deep.
You see Nepal celebrating the wicket. Great positioning. Just didn't have quite enough on it to carry it over the boundary. Take a look at this replay. Comes in, tries to pull it. Just doesn't quite get there. Perfect positioning. Easy routine catch right there.
Kushal Malla making easy work of that. That's also going to be the end of the first over. Oman 2 wickets down for 9 runs. Well, big moments these. 2 early wickets for Nepal, and they've really put Oman on the back foot here, just losing their skipper. Ayan Khan coming out to the middle. And where are these runs coming from, Matt? 2 wickets down. They need a partnership. They need to steady the ship a little bit here, Oman. Yes, they need a lot of runs, but you can't get them if you've got no wickets in hand.
That's right.
Just exactly what a big total does to you when you're chasing. You've got scoreboard pressure from the time that you come out.
So many forces working against Oman right now.
You spoke about being multi-sport athletes at a young age, or just going out and playing whatever you can find, and it's so important. In fact, we're starting to see kids specialize way too early these days as well, especially in cricket. Just picking up the sport and sticking to just the one sport way too early. You want to try and be as multifaceted, play different sports. You never know what sort of skill sets you might bring into a different sport.
I agree. Especially when you're young, you know. It's at a certain point you're going to fall in love with one sport and probably lock in and specify in that one sport. But when you're a kid, you should just be out there just playing everything. I agree.
When did you know basketball was it for you?
I think 8th or 9th grade. I played baseball, soccer, and basketball growing up, like organized. And I'll finish the story after this bowl right here. Oh, swing and a miss. In 8th grade, my soccer team went 0-18.
Wow.
We lost one game 16-0 in soccer. And it was at that moment, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick to basketball. It became pretty obvious.
You couldn't have been that bad.
Oh, we were horrible. Also, I was on the B2 team, so there's like an A team, which is like the best kids. It was like B1, B2, B3, because they didn't want the kids to feel bad if you were on like the D team.
So they just numbered the Bs.
So I was on the B2 team, which is essentially the C team. You know, the writing was on the wall.
Well, clearly you made the right choice. Basketball working out for you. Similar to you know, working on dribbling skills in your parents' basement. A lot of kids who play cricket, they actually put a ball in a sock and they hang it off the ceiling in the basement. They just keep batting away at it.
Yep, having the right mix of in-game competition and skill-specific drills is so important. Can't be all or one or the other. You got to do both. And that comes with proper coaching. You know, you talk about growing the game. Part of growing the game is making sure there's a network of coaches coaching all these kids that love the game, cricket, the right way to do things. Perfect practice. Good skills, good habits.
Discipline.
Yep, discipline. Repetition.
And cricket, actually, coaching-wise, has gone through a big change over the years. It used to be very technique heavy, very this is the way and the only way to do it. And now we've really started to revolutionize the way cricket's coached. And we're starting to realize that there's no one set way of doing things. The T20 cricket is partly the reason why it's really pushed that momentum. Well, that's pulled, and it's going to be in a gap. That's a maximum.
There's a sixer. Trying to get some momentum going. They're going to need a lot more of those if they're going to try to win this match, but you got to start somewhere.
A bit short from Karan Casey, and sat up nicely for Shoaib Khan as he bowler, isn't it? When you've been so consistent for almost the whole over until that last ball ends up messing up your economy rate.
I mean, luckily they scored so many runs. You know, you can afford that in this match at least. What you don't want is Oman start stringing some together and getting momentum and confidence, which is exactly what Nepal did in those last few overs. Back on track.
Pegging away with wickets at the right time makes a big difference. Exactly what we saw Canada do yesterday against Nepal. It was a small total that Nepal was chasing, 124 runs. Should have been a cakewalk. But unfortunately, between decent bowling and some poor shot selection, they just couldn't quite cross that line yesterday.
I'd say better than decent bowling. And granted, I'm no expert on it, but every single bowler for Canada seemed to step up in big moments.
Well, using his feet down the track. And the accuracy continues from the fielding. Nepal's so good in the field. They're so quick.
They've had great positioning, too. Their strategy has been on point through these first 3+ overs. Nothing's really got by them.
Well, the keeper's decided to come up to the stumps. He's just asked for his helmet. Oh, and that ball, how has it missed the top of those stumps?
So close.
Good strategy, this. They saw some use of the feet down the track, and they've decided we're going to bring the keeper up to try and
take a look at that. Ooh, hit him in the leg.
Just try and keep.
How bad does that hurt? You play cricket at a high level.
Yeah, if it misses those thigh pads, it does hurt.
Yeah,
it's a good shiner, actually. Sensitive parts, your thighs, you know?
Yep. Nice little Charlie horse.
And the women don't really have to worry too much about the straighter ones.
Yep.
But I've seen guys go down pretty quick when it's in the crown jewel area. Just a bunch of weaklings.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Just thinking about that is making me cringe.
It does look pretty painful. I'm not really sure what the feeling's like, but all I've got to say is toughen up, boys.
Walk it off.
Walk it off. Slower ball. Good deceiving ball here from Dekal.
That was a changeup.
Took the pace right off. Just a bit down leg. I wanted to try and get it a little bit straighter.
Now, when he pitches it, does the person behind the wicket know what's coming? Do they have a signal?
Sometimes. I think with spinners, you're more likely to get one. Typically, the keepers watch the ball right out of the hands. I mean, they're in the action every single delivery of the innings. Which is why when you're keeping in a team setting that's new, it's very tricky. Good quiet over here from Dekal, just one coming off of it. 4 overs gone, 18 for 2.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. How's that? TD, ready for you.
Slow start here for Oman. Just 18 runs coming off the first 4 overs of this power play. They've really not been able to take advantage of the 2 fielders in the deep. Everyone's inside the circle, but the bowling has been top-notch here. Different Nepal showing up to the T20 series as we see Dipender Singh Airy coming into the attack. So effective with the ball yesterday against Canada.
We'll get one more match with Nepal and Canada, correct?
That's right. One
Looking
more.
forward to that one.
Oh, he's bowled him.
Got
First
him.
ball into the attack. Dipender Singh Airy has picked up the 3rd wicket of Oman.
Nepal on fire.
Such an important part of this Nepali side. He brings in bat, ball, and field. Very important member of the squad.
There you see.
Taking the top of leg stump. Sharp turn into the batter, and he had no chance on that one.
Yeah, that angle when the ball hit the ground. I mean, no human being has reflexes that fast.
Ayan Khan gone for 2 off 8. And Nepal have just been all over this game from ball 1 today. Oman 18 for 3 after 4.1 overs. Big moments this, Matt.
Yeah. It's domination from my team right now. Rambu Dai's team.
I know the Nepalese fans are loving you. They're loving you. Just
I'm
you
in.
saying that is a big deal. Well, they really need this win, especially after all the flooding that's happening back home. They just need some positivity, don't they? Something to look forward to, something to celebrate.
Yeah, it's amazing how sport can have that effect on the people.
A bit slower this time. Back of the length as Zishan Maksud comes out to the middle. All kinds of troubles here for Oman.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the required run rate. My goodness.
Well over 10 now,
Yes.
isn't it? It doesn't get any easier as the dot balls continue to pile on. And Oman are going to be very careful here because they've lost 3 wickets. They do need runs, they desperately need runs, but they still want to try and keep that strike rotation happening. At the moment, they're just completely bogged down. It's dot after dot after dot.
Yep. Now you see the speed of the frequency. These bowls are coming in.
Gone for the sweep twice now, Zishan Maksud, and nowhere close to the ball.
It's like the world's quickest over.
5 overs gone. Oman 18 for 3.
Well, what a difference today makes for Nepal. They are already, even though there's 15 overs remaining in this second innings, they're on the precipice of breaking a 163-day streak. It has been, well, very, very one-sided, really, ever since Gulshan Jah walked to the crease. as we have a shuffle in the commentary box. A bit of fun farewell for the moment to Matt Bonner and Manali Patel. Andrew Leonard here with you again, and I've got Arslan Kadir joining me. Arslan, Oman have issues at the moment, don't they? They really do. They were in impeccable form on home soil during that ACC premiere, but since the change of captain, things haven't gone their way.
Definitely not. And I think it is a little bit of that home field advantage here, but neither of these teams have home field advantage, do they?
But
they just haven't seemed to be able to put it together under the new captain, Akabilias.
But in a similar way to Nepal, it's the bat that they're struggling with. I know at the tail end they got torn apart by a wonderful coach in Jai Innings, but they just look like they've no confidence with the bat at all.
No confidence with the bat. We saw Jatinder Singh come back into the squad for the ODIs, not in this team. And there's a lot of class in their batting lineup. You look at the likes of Kashyap Prajapati, Akabilias himself, the captain, somebody they rely heavily on. The man in the middle now, the ex-captain, Zishan Maksud. There's plenty of skill and plenty of ability. They just have been so short of runs, all of them.
Some aggression from Maksud, that's better. He needed to get going, none off 5, and uses his feet to get some momentum into the stroke, and he will get 4.
Yeah, and Asif Sheikh, when Zishan Maksud came on strike there, he went back. He's been predominantly up to the stumps. He's asking for the helmet to be brought on again. Zishan Maksud, Rajan Dekal, he's not going to overpower you with pace, is he? Just medium pace. And he can't, any margin of error straight down the leg side, he's just helped along. 1 bounce 4.
I suppose for Nepal here, what they really want to do is they want to be ruthless. They want to not just take a victory, but when you think about the way in which this No Frills T20 Cup will be decided, there is no final. So net run rate could well be important. You certainly don't want to take on a single to Dipender Singh Airi. How impressed were you with his first over there? He just looks like the kind of player you'd want in every side in the world, doesn't he?
100%. And he's great with the ball. He's great with the bat. And you specifically talk a lot about his fielding, and it's remarkable. So all 3 facets, especially in this format, how important is it? You have to be. He's always in the game. He's always doing something in the game. I think he'd been disappointed coming in all the way down the order at 8, but he's always involved, isn't he, Lenny?
I was surprised he was left out for the ODIs. I thought that it was a strange decision. I know he hasn't been making runs in ODI cricket. I get that, but I don't think you look at his numbers with regards to his output that he delivers to a team. He's not that kind of player. Even if he's not making runs, look at the way he bowls, look at the way he fields. You still want him in your 11. I'd have him in any 11.
It's a big claim, Lenny, and I'm sure there's not a lot of people that would disagree with you. Matt Bonner earlier, when he was on air with you, was talking about just having somebody that impact and lift the team. Gulshan Jha did it with a bat, but Dipender Singh Airi, because he's just always involved, somehow the ball's always in his hands.
A little cutter. Grijan Dakal offers an awful lot in this format, and he's got a good game plan. Left arm seamers continue to be in vogue. That power play has belonged heavily to Nepal. They're right on top. It's 25 for 3.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef, topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
So the required run rate, it's spiralling out of control. It's already up above 10 runs required per over. Sandeep Lamachani hasn't even had a bowl yet. And with the left-handers that are right the way through this 11, you would imagine that Dipender Singh Airi will bowl heavily through these 4 overs, keep things very tight. Look at those figures. Wicket maiden to start with, 1 for none. And the cleverness of his bowling, he's obviously short in stature, isn't he, Dipender Singh Airi? But it's the variety of trajectories and angles that he delivers with. So you might think of an off-spinner to a right-hander being a bad matchup, but I think in Airi's case that isn't necessarily true.
Yeah, it reminds you a little bit of Kedar Jadhav, former Indian all-rounder as well. He's not the tallest man in the world. He's no Kalimullah or Matt Bonner or Lambu Dives. I apologize for using that name. Lambu Dive, we'll call him from now on forward. But again, just a wise cricketer as well. Just changes of pace, changes angles.
Oh, this is gone for all money. Surely the finger's got to go up. No! Now, You're going to have to tell me what this is missing, because Asif Sheikh can't believe it, and nor can Dipender Singh Airi.
If anything, Lenny, this has slowed down the over because he blazes through his overs. And let's have a look. You and I both gave it out. We had our fingers up. We'll have a look here. They're not happy. They thought they had the former Omani captain. And let's have a look, Lenny. What do you think?
Well, it's not going over the top, is it, Arsalan? That's going to go on and cannon into leg stump at worst. And I think the umpiring's been really good this whole series. But I'm not too sure whether that is the correct decision.
I would love to disagree with you, Lenny. You know me, I'd love to disagree with you, but on that occasion, I just simply cannot. It actually hit the back pad and then onto the front pad.
Well, the funny thing is, for Nepal, it might not be the worst result because Airi is all over Zishan Maqsood here. We'll get one more look, just a little bit closer. I wonder, has the two noises maybe impacted him? Because I think you're right. I think it's come off both pads, isn't it? Or some kind of pads. There's no bat involved there for me. And you just saw from the appeal, it was one of those ones where it was almost the formality of the appeal. They're just waiting for the finger to go up. But Airi has been, well, maybe robbed of a second wicket of the day.
Yeah, certainly. The celeb appeal, is that as we call it, isn't it? It's absolutely plumb. You got to say, I think you're right. It is what threw him off. The back foot. It hit the back pad and then onto the front pad. Almost lodged between the two.
It's almost too good to be true. End of the 7th over. Just 2 runs from it, but not the second wicket that Dipender Singh Airi wanted. It's 27 for 3.
That's how I see the score. So it's a no-frills thing to do.
Well, Nepal have been outstanding today. Bat, ball, everything they've done. And fielded nicely too. Oman look like a side that are ring rusty in this format. They look short of confidence. We spoke at length, I know you're watching a lot of the ODIs, our son, about their aging team and where do they go to from here. Do you think that Duleep Mendes, who's got Pabulu Dasanayake, the former Canada head coach, in his coaching setup for this tour, do you think that maybe they have to change things quite drastically going forward? Do they have to maybe start to look at 4 or 5 new faces? We're going to see Kushal Bertel with the ball for the first time.
There's got to be something. They've got to do something here. In most North American sports, the first person to go is typically the coach. Duleep Mendes, he's done a brilliant job with Oman cricket, nothing taken away from him. And I'm not calling for his head here, Lenny.
Slug sweep, man out there. And who else would it be but Dipender Singh Airi? He's never dropping that. And the Nepal fans who've travelled in good numbers up here to King City again, they are loving every second of today. It's the perfect day.
We've got to check his pockets, Lenny. There's got to be a magnet somewhere in there because the ball just seems to always find him. And look at those fans. They're happy. They're trying to find some shade, but they'll be a little bit cooler now with this wicket. Have a look at this.
Well, Bertel's a different kind of leg spinner. He's sort of a bit slower through the air, and you can see what Maqsood's trying to do, but, well, Dipender Singh Airi is just too good for that. Zishan Maqsood, he's the latest to depart for 6, and the score, Oman in a sorry state. They are 28 for 4.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the graphics to catch up here, and that'll catch up in just a moment. Yeah, Kushal Bertel, surprised it wasn't Sandeep Lamichhane, you would say, coming to the attack before him. Rohit Patil has gone to Kushal Bertel, and he's rewarded him. Big wicket of Zishan Maqsood. And Lenny, we're talking about where does Omani cricket go from here? Where does Oman cricket go in this game? Who's it going to be? Does he have anybody left?
Well, it's not just this game, but it's this series now, because all of a sudden, they've looked horribly ring rusty and shy of confidence with the bat. Canada are on an absolute hot streak. All of a sudden, right now, we're maybe looking at this series going, you can't find a way back into it for Oman. And that return fixture now between Nepal and Canada, that will be, I think, in 3 days' time from now, well, that is lining up to be a cracker. And it could well decide the trophy. Big surprise for me, Bertel not bowling a couple of days ago. I thought he was brilliant in the T20 World Cup. Another one of these all-round options that they have. And I think what Nepal have recognised from yesterday, leaving Sampal Kami out, I'm not sure we're going to see Gulshan Jha bowl today. I think they've recognised that the pitch is helping the spinners as it's, we're getting later into the series. The pitches are starting to get quite a lot of traffic on top of them. And with all the good spin options they have, they should be bowling more spin, shouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Rohit Patel, he's not short of options, is he? There's plenty of all-rounders in this camp. Expect we may see Gulshan Jha just the day he had. You want to keep him going. You want to keep him involved in this game because he can't do nothing wrong at this point between him and Deepinder Singh Airi. But how happy will the Nepali camp be? Monty Desai, the team's starting to put it together. This game is an indication. They wouldn't have been happy yesterday. Going home back in a team bus, they wouldn't have been happy. They had a game that they should have won, and they handed it back to Canada. Here and now, this is a performance where they're sort of putting it all together.
There's a great pragmatism from Monty Desai, that there really is, and it's not easy when you're in Nepal, because they have a fanaticism and a fan support that no other associate does. That's a drag down, but there is a man out there who's nearly going to get there. Great effort from Kushal Malla. He got the dive in, stuck the body on the line, nearly saved 4, but he will concede a first boundary. That goes to Shoaib Khan.
You get that anywhere near the middle of the bat, Lenny. But it's good enough to get for 4, and a brilliant effort. Dragged down. It had to go. Try to go over the top. Just didn't get anywhere near it. Kushal Malla, what a brilliant effort that is.
Oh, what a beautiful leg break to finish the over. Was this an edge? I think Kushal Bertel thinks as though it was, but it's given as buys. The perfect leg break. You can't do much about that. It'll be back-to-back boundaries, albeit one of them extras, to close out the 8th. The score moves to 37 for 4.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Well, the signal that we saw was that this was given as buys. We might need our scorer to check this, because it was given as buys by the umpire, but we just wonder whether this was a drop chance or not. Going to have to get that checked with the official scorers, but we both saw Arnold Medela indicate buys.
Yeah, we certainly did. But the reaction from Kushal Patel told us that it might have been an edge. Very hard to tell from that angle that we just saw, that run replay that we just saw.
We're a long way away, but I heard 2 noises.
Yeah, it looked to be it.
Yeah.
It just, the look and feel of that, the reaction from Asif Sheikh, Kushal Patel, it looked to be the edge, sorry.
Well, things aren't necessarily going to get any easier for Oman as Sandeep Lamachani comes into the attack. And I'll tell you one thing that we all know about Sandeep Lamachani is that he loves taking wickets. He'll be looking for them. Get one more look here on the zoomer.
Yeah, let's have a look. We'll have a close look. Yeah, I think there was an edge there. I think there certainly was. So, gave it 4 runs. Did give it buys. Lenny, does that change? Did we miss the change?
We missed that the umpire is allowed to change his decision. And what he's done is he's folded his arms across his chest to reverse his decision, not give it as buys, but give it as runs. So it is a life for Shoaib Khan, dropped on 20 by Asif Sheikh. And certainly I think Lamachani is going to be licking his lips here, isn't he? He's going to be thinking, oh, how many can I get? Can I get 2, 3, or 4?
Well, he's not going to want to be outdone by Kushal Bertel, is he? And Sandeep Lamachani, the senior leg spinner in the squad. I saw Sandeep spend a lot of time with the bat pre-game, Lenny. I think he fancied a hit today. It wasn't to be, thanks to Gulshan Jha and Deepinder Singh Airi.
He really enjoys his batting. I think he very much fancies himself as a lower order hitter. And what I would love to see him do is what he's just done there, which is to be completely patient and to bowl maybe 20 leg breaks out on that exact line. Occasional googly. Don't go hunting. But he's gone hunting, and oh my, it's a drop. We've spent the whole day talking him up. He got there too quickly, didn't he, Deepinder Singh Airi? It comes in and out. Should have been a first wicket for Lamachani. And you can stick that one into the memory bank. You won't see it too often.
What's happened there, Lenny? I'm lost for words. Deepinder Singh Airi put down what for him is an absolute sitter. But that pace along the ground, he just got there too quickly. Not something you'll see too often, that's for sure.
But again, I'm not sure the line is right. You know, okay, he could have ended up with a wicket, but it was just a drag down googly. And he sprinted in so quickly, he's got there too quickly. Should have swallowed it up, but of all people, Dipender Singh Airi has grasped a pretty easy chance. That's where you want him to bowl. Fourth, fifth stump line, drifting in leg break, turning away. Unplayable from Lamachani, quite brilliant. 9 have been bowled, 40 for 4.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. How's that? TD, ready for you.
137 more required. It's a long, long way home for Oman from here. And the challenge is not going to be an easy one against what I believe is going to be a huge amount of spin they will have to face. Maybe even if we see more left-handers at the crease, might even see Rohit Powell give himself a ball with his off breaks. We've got the option of Kushal Malla too. The ball is turning. Oman need more than 2 runs per ball. And Nepal just have to hold their nerve here. They should close this out.
Yeah, certainly. And Oman just don't seem to have any answers at this point. Kushal Patel and Sandeep Lamachani causing all kinds of problems for them.
The difficult thing here for Khalid Kale and Shoaib Khan is they may be facing 2 leg spinners, but they're so different. Lamachani bowls flat, really drifting leg breaks that spin sharply away from the surface. And then Bertel, they're part-time leg breaks, but they're very handy part-time leg breaks. He can turn it significantly, but it's much slower. And it's probably an 8 to 10 mile an hour difference through the air. As a consequence, difficult to get your timing right. But that's a good stroke. Inside out over extra, bit too full. Finds the gap and gets 4.
Yeah, the important man there now, Shoaib Khan for Oman. Just again, that pace just allowed him to get that one over the top. Didn't quite come, but did a really good job, Shoaib Khan, on that occasion to wait for it. Just had to beat that one man, that cover. And they need to find something here, the Oman.
This time a little flatter and great work from Asif Sheikh. Gets across to save the single. Yeah, I think that Shoaib Khan is someone that they've identified as being one that they can bat up the order, who might be able to score a little more quickly. His career numbers in T20 cricket aren't great, just 150 in 24 innings and less than 300 runs, averaging 16 at a strike rate of 105. That wouldn't inspire you, but it also gives you an indication of the position that Oman are in. They're hunting for answers to questions that they're being asked more and more regularly.
You'd have to say these two squads completely on the opposite ends. Nepal, a lot of quality young cricketers coming through the ranks. Yes, they haven't won a game in a long time, but you can just see.
He takes on Long On, gets a good piece of it. I think he's going to get 6. It's very short down there. They've got the right man in place at Long On. Their tallest fielder is Gulshan Jha, but even he can't cut that off. It means we'll get to the halfway stage and to the drinks break with a big maximum and a good over. Oman just coming back into it a tiny bit. They still have a lot to do. The score is 52 for 4.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. How's that? TD, ready for you.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef, topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
Chips and a burger. Makes so much sense. My question is, do you have to be a teenager to eat that? Because it's called the teen burger.
I think you could.
I want one.
I think you could still fly for a teenager.
Oh, well, thank you. Someone with a really bad glasses prescription, maybe. You don't want to eat one of those on your drinks break, though. Might make the last 10 overs difficult.
A bit groggy, you think?
Yeah, with an upset tummy.
Maybe stick to Gatorade.
Yes.
Well, it's a sorry state of affairs for Oman. Both openers back in the pavilion very early. Shoaib Khan, he's handy out there with 30, and a decent partnership between him and Khalid Kale brought in today for the T20s. 24 runs off of 17 deliveries, and a much, much needed partnership this from Oman. And we don't see Dipender Singh Airy put down a lot of catches. That was a bit of a shocker, wasn't it, for him?
It was, yeah.
Absolute lightning in the field.
Yeah, I mean, even against Canada, we've seen very few mistakes from the team from Nepal. But, you know, no one's perfect. Next play. You got to have that next play mentality. Flush it. Don't let your past affect your future.
Well, a bit of flight, and it's going to be Sandeep Lamichhane coming in for his second over. You know, it's a difficult one. When you put down a catch, it does play in your mind. It's so hard to put that behind you because you might have just dropped the game. You just never know.
That's true, especially in this format.
Getting some turn out there, Sandeep Lamichhane.
I think Nepal's still looking good, though. I think they're still looking good, even with the drop.
Just the dominance with the bat today, isn't it, from Nepal? Put on a ton of runs in the first innings. How did you deal with the mental aspect of the game when you played basketball? I mean, at the NBA, highest level you can get.
Yeah, it's tough, you know. I think it was harder for someone with my position on the team, being a role player. You come in, you play 20 minutes. You might get 4 to 6 shot attempts the whole game.
Oh, look at that drop catch again. Went straight to Dipender Singh. It's not often that he drops them. Just misjudged it a little bit. In and out of the hands.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure to come in. You have a few shots and you're judged harshly on whether you can make them or not. And if you have a game where, you know, I just tell myself, look, I have a game, I go 0 for 4. I might go 4 for 4 in the next game. You know, you just got to have faith in your preparation. In that over time, it'll balance out.
Well, flighted and given the treatment straight down the ground. Shoaib Khan smashes this one for a maximum.
Nice sixer right there. He's been their best batter this match for sure. See if he can get hot. It's going to take a tremendous hot streak to get them back in this offensively.
Well, it's a big shout. Big shout from Sandeep Lamichhane. We'll have to take a look at that one again. Umpire says not out. And it's been given leg byes. Rohan Shah, the umpire, being put under a lot of pressure today. Just rushing through his over here, though. End of the 11th.
Yeah, take a look at this replay. See how close it was.
That was the googly, and it looks like it might have just been going down leg.
Yeah.
Maybe clipping leg, maybe just going down.
It was close.
11 overs gone, 62 for 4.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Azad! TD, ready for you.
Well, a lot of probing deliveries here from Nepal. Might have missed out just a little bit on that last delivery, Sandeep Lamichhane, but it's Gulshan Jha unstoppable with the ball or unstoppable with the bat, and we'll have to see if he's going to be just as good with the ball. Good all-rounder here for Nepal.
Yep. Player of the match candidate for sure.
And a young one, too. Such a young side, this Nepal side. Got so much potential. And we've got age on your side.
Yeah, we were talking about that with Lenny in the Canada versus Nepal match. I think average age of only 23.
Woo! Well, that's another one. And it's Gulshan Jha. He's done nothing wrong today. Coming into the attack with a ball, a slight edge. And keeper makes no mistake. It's the end of Khalid Kale.
Cue the DJ. Beautiful catch right here. Diving effort. Let's take a look. Scoops it up nicely. You know, plays like that make up for drop balls.
Well, wickets are so important. He's gone for 11 off 11, Khalid Kale. Not able to push on to get a big one. And the wheels are really starting to come off here for Oman. 62 for 5. That target of 177 looks awfully far.
Let's go. Juicy grass-fed beef, topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
I think the train's coming off the tracks here, isn't it, for Oman?
It
5
sure
down,
is.
62 runs. They need to get to 177. And we're past the halfway point here.
Yes. I mean, again, if you're Nepal, just keep doing what you're doing. You should cruise into victory at this point. I'm not a huge fan of moral victories, but you know, if you're Oman, you want to finish it strong. At least give yourself some momentum going into the next match. Something you can feel good about yourself.
Good length. And there's just a little bit of kick off the surface for Gulshan Jha. I love that you say you're not a fan of moral victory. Spoken like a true athlete.
No, I mean...
At the top level.
Oh, we only lost by 8, you know.
So what do you think of all the no scorekeeping for kids these days, giving trophies and medals to everyone?
I think you can guess where I stand on that. Not a fan.
And kids are naturally competitive too, aren't they?
Yes. The real world's competitive. The goal of one of the great things about sport is it teaches you skills mentally to prepare you for the real world, and that's one of them. There's winners and losers.
I think it's human nature as well to bring the competitiveness in. I can tell you,
yeah.
My kids, they don't keep score at soccer, but my kids do. They know how many runs, how many goals have been scored.
When I do basketball clinics, camps, as we watch this ball right here, and I introduce competition to the drill, the intensity goes through the roof. And that's how you get better.
That's 100% correct. I mean, we've started to change the way, and just going back to that coaching conversation, we've started to make coaching more game sense, more constraint-led. And then as soon as you throw in that competitive aspect, they're just working they're tuned in. They're just working that much harder to get to that goal. Makes a big difference.
I agree. And when I say there's winners and losers, as we watch this next ball, I don't mean like if you lost, you're a loser. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is part of life is learning how to lose. Being able to take a loss and turn it into a win by being able to be honest with yourself, evaluate your performance, your process, and make adjustments so you can be successful next time.
12 overs gone, 65 for 5.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
Learning from your mistakes and improving in the next performance is what it's all about. Sandeep Lamichhane
close.
back into the attack, and he's asking questions again.
Yeah, you got to fail sometimes in life. You got to get a bad grade once in a while. You got to pick yourself back up.
Oh, this might be trouble. This might be trouble. Needed a better throw, and this could have been very tight. Pratik Athavale almost halfway down the track. Well, you could just feel how tense Oman are out there. The runs are not coming. How close was this?
Great hustle in the field. Run that ball down.
Well, I think he would have been gone. If that was a flatter throw,
yep,
he would have been gone. Into the leg side this time, and they will get a single. Not too bothered here by the singles.
Yep. Feels like Khan's been up there forever.
Well, he's holding the fort down, isn't he? Moving on to his 40s now. 40 off 34 deliveries. But now that required run rate is well over 15 runs and over. Not a good position to be in when you're chasing.
Has anyone ever made this big of a comeback before? Has it happened?
I'm going to get back to you right after this short break as we get to the end of the 13th over, 68 for 5.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. TD, ready for you.
So, not quite T20 cricket, but it was a really exciting game between Afghanistan and Australia in a World Cup match, and Australia were about 7 or 8 down, I think. I don't quite remember what the total was. They still needed about 200 more runs. And that's going to be a wide, well over Pratik Athavale's head. And out comes Maxwell. He can bat. He's an Aussie all-rounder, and this guy smashes it like you've never seen it before. In fact, he brings Australia on the winning side, where they were completely written off in that game. So you never say never in cricket. It just takes one batter to get going.
Is that like a historic game most big cricket fans know?
So John Boy actually did a segment on it.
Wow.
And if you get a chance, you should definitely watch that. The way he's gone about explaining that innings it's great, especially for people in North America who are new to cricket. Perfect analysis of what happened in that game.
He was in the zone.
He was in the zone, and not just in the zone, but he was completely unable to move his legs because he was, he had muscle pulls.
How long was he up there for?
He was up there for, over 100 and something runs.
Wow.
Yeah. I need to pull up the scorecard. Cut away well, up and over the infield. It races away to the boundary for 4 runs. Gulshan Jha flies for some runs here. I'll try and find you that scorecard and that John Boy coverage on that game.
I mean, Nepal's got the luxury now where, like, even fours, you're like, we'll be all right.
Well, you've got 15 plus runs needed per over. You feel like you've got the upper hand. Use of the feet and nowhere close to the ball. They know they've got to go for it, so
Yep.
Pratik Attavale doing everything he can. The dot balls are not going to help them. Good inclusion in Gulshan Jha today for Nepal. He's been so good in the 50 overs, and no surprise. In fact, at the halfway point when we did speak with him, he kept it pretty simple, didn't he? He said, well, I play in a manner that I understand. I just know my game. I keep it simple, and I play the way I play. And sometimes it really does come down to that. You don't have to overthink. You just
You're
trust
right.
yourself, and you do what you do best.
Be who you are.
Absolutely.
Don't try to be a different player. Know your strengths and weaknesses and play to them. That's what you're out there for. That's why you're selected on the team. That's what your teammates expect of you as well.
A slower ball. And unlucky to have not gotten a wide there. Shoaib Khan just questioning the umpire as to why that wasn't signaled a wide. It did go down leg, and I don't remember seeing the batter move. Missed out on a run there, Oman.
Look at this replay, see if you can see.
Well, he moved across the stumps a little bit, but it wasn't large enough to have not called that a wide personally.
Yeah, I agree. Saw the movement on that ball too.
Slower ball again, and it's been given the treatment. He waited on that beautifully. Again, going over the infield. And they're trying to give it a late fight here, Oman, as Shoaib Khan picks up another boundary.
Heating up a little bit. Take a look here. Going the opposite way. Nicely angled.
89 for 6. Well, good use of the feet this, and this has gone miles up in the air, but it just doesn't have the distance. It's going to be the 7th wicket for Oman. Pratik Atavale, well, the charge has to come to an end here. And Sandeep Lamichhane now part of the wicket takers with that. Every single bowler has picked up a wicket for Nepal, and it really tells a story for the way they've come out today.
Yeah, you can't fault Atavale for this. It's the right shot, the right idea. Just no execution on it. Got it really high in the air. Plenty of time for Gulshan Jha, who can do nothing wrong today whatsoever, to get nice and settled under it. And Pratik Atavale, he has to go. 15 off 14 for him. And this Oman innings, it's coming to an end quite quickly here. $95 for 7. 15.3 overs.
Well, great to see Sandeep Lamichhane back into the wickets column. It's what he's born to do. No doubt about that. And the record he has across both white ball formats, he's so prolific with the wickets that he takes. And for Nepal, it has just been the perfect day, isn't it? Everything has gone their way. We might see a few late fireworks here from Rafiullah and maybe even Shakil Ahmed, but the game, it's heading back to Nepal. And across all three disciplines, really, they've earned this win. They've completely outplayed Oman.
Yeah, 100%. They'll take a lot of confidence out of this game. We said at early on in this match, starting with that interview with Rohit Patel, they wanted to give Nepal something to celebrate. Their countrymen something to celebrate, and this is a complete performance from them.
Oh, the perfect googly and a stumping appeal. But the back foot, did it get back in? Asif Sheikh, he doesn't think so. It did look as though, certainly for a moment, he overbalanced Shakil Ahmed. How close was this?
We'll have a look here. We'll see if we can get the angle on this. Sandeep Lamichhane all over Shakil Ahmed here. And you're right, Asif Sheikh, he was certain, wasn't he? He thought that was out. Disappointed not to get the call.
Probably take the replay after this ball, in between the overs. Final delivery. Lamichhane again right on the money. What a good spell. What a good over that was. He's going to finish with 1 for 20 and the score 95 for 7.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
Let's get one more look at this stumping appeal. It did look close at first, didn't it? The way in which Shakil Ahmed overbalanced. Just see if we can bring it to you here. What was your initial thought?
Yeah, it certainly did, and it's going to be impossible to tell from our angle that back foot does slide across. Oh, you can't. It's really, really hard to tell from that angle.
We
don't
actually,
most of cricket.
Yeah, we don't have the square on angle here. We've just got the slipped cameras in place, but certainly that did look close, didn't it? Karen Casey in for his third over. One thing he's done noticeably well is kind of bowl quite a heavy ball into the surface, isn't he? Unlike some of the seamers from Nepal this week, he's kind of probably been the pick of them alongside Gulshan Jha.
Yeah, certainly. He's somebody. He's been around for quite a while, hasn't he? I think Canadian fans will remember him for his batting more than his bowling. We won't recall that too much, but he's done a job with the ball here for his side. And I was just standing by him in the field, Lenny, and he just had the biggest smile on his face. He was so happy today. That's what we want to see from Nepal. Happy with their cricket. And this today was, as we mentioned, a complete performance. Bring a lot of smiles to the Nepali fans and the players.
Yeah, it's going to mean the world, isn't it, to everyone back home in Nepal and the diaspora around the world. This is going to be another wicket. It's all too easy today for Nepal. They have been inspired, haven't they, in everything they've done. Karen Casey bangs it into the surface. It's a simple catch for Dev Canal. A backward point. Oman are being blown away.
Funny, this is all coming to an end quite quickly here, and you can see a little bit of a jump from Kushal Mala, and they're up and around.
They're back.
Look at how much fun they're having.
They are back, baby. Nepal are back. You can see it quite clearly. The buzz is back. And I'll tell you something, Canada, they're going to have to watch out in a few days' time.
Lenny, you're a little extra peppy here, and I can tell there's two of your countries are about to have a great day.
Well, I'll tell you something. In sport, we get used to heartbreak being Irish. We're a small little country, and we lose more games than we win, particularly in cricket. And then, obviously, my adopted nation, Nepal, very much follow their fortunes and how they go. Ireland about to maybe close it out in Abu Dhabi. South Africa need 18 to win off the final 6, and Nepal are definitely going to close it out here. But it's just the joy that Nepal bring and seeing that come back. It's so important, and what a time to do it. Coming on the back of the most horrendous 48 hours for the nation back in Nepal. The worst floods in 85 years. Historic, once in a lifetime floods that have not just washed away much of the capital city and the districts around it. You think of the beauty of Lalipur, the most stunning suburbs, and you can see plenty of the players wearing black armbands to commemorate those that have been lost. Hundreds of lives lost, and the sad news, Arsalan, is that actually a lot of the kind of more rural areas there isn't word from yet. As this is going to be edged away for 4. No control over where that was going, but Rafaela continues to swing merrily. And the worry is, without having reports of, what is to come in from the more rural regions, and I've seen some of the visuals, really scary stuff. So sport isn't everything in life, it never has been, but very much the national identity rides on the fortunes of the cricket team, and I think there's going to be a lot of joy for people waking up tomorrow morning across Nepal.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it's one of the things, the flooding in Pakistan a couple of years ago, it's happening around India as well. That region has been hit hard with floods over the past couple of years, and sport is one of those things. You start to forget about it, just even for a moment, a glimpse into normality. And that's all you can really ask for. And Nepal here providing for their fans. It's been a brilliant day of cricket for them. And they want to end on a high.
Well, 3 overs remain after this one. Ahmed Faiz Butt is now out there in the middle with Rafiullah. And he can swing a lusty blow or two as well. What a spectacular diving effort from Kushal Bertel. He's so good in the outfield. Couldn't cut this one off though, so it'll be a boundary to round out KC's third. Just a little bit of late joy, no more than that. For Oman, it's 106. So Nepal are probably going to go top of the table at the end of today's contest. You'd imagine they're going to win by significantly more than the 14-run margin that the hosts prevailed by yesterday. It's a short and sharp, intense series, isn't it? The Snow Frills T20 Cup. What do you expect tomorrow for Canada versus Oman? Could be very difficult for Oman to bounce back with the two T20s in 2 days.
Yeah, certainly. And they'll want a repeat of what Nepal did today, really. Nepal, they had to bounce back after yesterday. Oman's going to have to bounce back tomorrow. But you got to say that decision to bring Gulshan Jah back in for this game. It's looked like a genius, Monty Desai, hasn't he? With that decision.
It's proved a huge difference, isn't it? Rijan Dakal is going to be pumped down the ground. Now, Rafiola, I'll tell you something, he can swing lusty blows. He's got to 20 off just 7 balls. It might be too little too late to win the game, but this is showing why he's come into the team for the T20 format.
Yeah, have a look at this. What a strong man. He's not trying to get in line with that ball whatsoever, just freeing up his arms, Rafiola. Didn't have the best day with the ball, but he can swing a few lusty blows. We heard Matt Bonner talking about moral victories.
65 off 17. Rafiola's just going to keep going. Now, I don't think he's got this one, but it's going to fall, well, remarkably in between two fielders. Now, not the greatest piece of running from the two batters who got caught watching the ball a touch. They needed to get Rafiola back on strike. Instead, it's only a single, and that's a handy moral victory for Rijan Dakal.
Moral victories. You're part of the region. I'm not going to say, but your neighbors know moral victories quite well.
Well, certainly plenty of talk of that during the Ashes, wasn't there? England versus Australia. Kind of actually got a little bit about what they were talking about. I do think they've rejuvenated the Test game in many ways, and I think anything that's good for cricket, I'm always happy to get behind, although Australia didn't quite see it that way. Fayez Butt knows his role. Get Rafiola on strike and see what he can do. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's a case of wholesale changes required for Oman, but you do wonder if you look at Namibia, if you look at the Netherlands, you look at Scotland, you even look at Canada, the way in which they brought in Anj Patel and USA with Saiteja Mukamala. You have to promote your youth and give them a chance to get in at some point in the cycle. Because in the last cycle, I understood for Oman, every game felt like a must-win. And I know you're somewhat in that position in this cycle. Again, they've got off to a horrible start in Cricket World Cup League 2. Could be in danger of losing their ODI status if they don't get things together quite quickly. But surely in these T20s, it was an opportunity to maybe blood. Why not throw in 2 or 3 of the kids from the under-19s?
Yeah, certainly. I was just going to ask you about this. Is where are the youngsters for Oman? We see them from every other country. We see them for Canada. Anj Patel, you mentioned. Akil Kumar, another one coming up from that setup. Oman, you see the likes of Gulshan Jah, the bowler that we have right now that's bowling into Rafiola.
Well, I think the reality is that Oman have historically relied an awful lot upon players who are immigrants into the country who either have come for work or for cricket. As Rafiola gets the long handle out, he's taking a liking, isn't he, to Rijan Dakal. That one nearly goes all the way to Dufferin Street. The second 6 of the over. Some fight being shown by Oman thanks to that man, number 20 on his back, Rafiola.
Shout from behind the box here, Lenny Wasia. And that ball was definitely out of here. There's no doubt about that one. He's a big, strong man, Rafiola. And you can see that sign, Seneca College King Campus. That ball was well on its way there, just about to make that left turn on that street. We might lose Lenny here for a few seconds, folks. He's got to rejoice. Ireland have just beaten South Africa by 10 runs. Lenny, what is going on, my friend? How are you feeling?
Hallelujah. My heart, I tell you, particularly through that World Cup, I was advocating all 9 of those associate sides. Rafiola goes bang, bang, 6-6. That one might be even bigger. And it's the biggest over of the chase. 20 have come from it. And Rafiola gets a big punch of the gloves. Oman just hanging about. It's 51 needed off 12. It's very unlikely, but something to work with. 126 for 8.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Well, 2 overs remain. You can never say never in T20 international cricket. And Nepal just having a little bit of the gloss taken off their performance, thanks to a massive over. 20 have come from it. And mainly thanks to the bat of Rafiola. 3 sixes, 3 really good strikes, Arsene.
Yeah, certainly. And a little bit of inexperience for Dakal there. Just doesn't have the pace to challenge him with that length. A lot of those off-cutters, but they're just coming onto the bat. Rafiola, he's just waiting for him, waiting on that back foot. But Karan Casey, he's a seasoned campaigner. He's going to just look to put this game away in this penultimate over. Just put it completely out of reach.
Yeah, just need to be clever. Cardiac kids, that's what Nepal are known as. Don't think the heart pressure should be getting too high, or should it? Because it's going to be 6 more. Well, surely not. Surely not. They're coming back from the depths of hell here. Oh, man. And they're just making it interesting. It's another maximum. This time it's to Fayaz Butt.
Lenny, how's your heart feeling? The amount of Nepal games you do, the cardiac kids, just put it out of reach. Not today, says Fayaz Butt, as he pumps this one down the ground. Another 6 runs. 4 sixes off the last 7 deliveries, Lenny.
Death bowling has been a concern. Big shout out to Jeremy up there. Thank you, sir. Working hard up there. He's a happy South African rugby fan. Hard luck in the cricket, mate. You can cry your tears out there. Yeah, this one's hacked into the leg side. Going to be 4 more. I'm not sure about this field. You've got to have deep mid-wicket out. And instead it's back-to-back boundaries. Nepal, you just need to get it back together. It's 41 to win off 10 now.
It's just length, isn't it? Just not the right length to be bowling at this stage, Karan Casey. He's got to get it right. He's got to get it right. And you see the change right there. Going to come around the wicket.
Just some old habits, some difficulties at the death are coming back here to haunt Nepal. It might not be fatal yet, but Oman are somehow still in this contest. Still very unlikely. 41 to win off 10. He does get the block hole this time. It'll be 40 off 9, and you'd think that Rafiola is probably going to need 3 boundaries from these 3 deliveries. Can Karan KC, can he hold his nerve, the Valentine's Day boy?
Improbable, but not impossible, is it, Lenny? And Rafiola, he's 33 off 11 deliveries.
Just cannot get my head around why Dipender Singh Uri has only bowled 2 overs. 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 2, and he's brilliant at the death.
It's just a case of overthinking it with the right-handers. We talked about this a little bit earlier, Lenny. He's not a typical off-spinner. So it's not a matchup that you would favor him just bowling to left-handers. He's very, very accurate, has the ability to just get the ball going around with the arm. Natural variation for him as well. Very tough bowler to get away.
Edged and taken. It's a really good catch. Third is up in the circle. And he's gone diving to his left, just trying to get a sight of who it is. There's a big smile on the face of all people, Sandeep Lamachani. Might not be the very strongest fielder in this Nepal 11, but a little bit like Kaleem Sana yesterday, diving to his left. Lamachani takes the catch. That should ice this game.
Rafiola, he looked threatening. He was out there for quite a while and looked to take this game, but just Q ended it. And it's a brilliant catch. There was enough pace on that delivery. Flew off the bat, but Sandeep just plucks us out of thin air. Rafiola, look at the disappointment. He throws his head back. Just doesn't believe it, does he, Lenny?
Well, a spectacular catch to end the innings of Rafiola. Credit to him. He's played really, really well, hasn't he? But he's got to go for 33. And now Nepal are on the brink. It's 137 for 9.
Last man in, Kalimullah. They've got 8 deliveries, Lenny. 8 deliveries to pull off the improbable. Still 41 runs to go.
Well, it wouldn't be Nepal if there wasn't a twist or a turn or a wobble, or maybe just a raising of the pulse rate, a raising of the hearts across the nation. But they're one good ball away now. And it might be fitting if Karen KC would be the one that would do it. Yeah, look, I have to agree with you, Arslan, that the modern myth of matchups, for me, your best bowler is still your best bowler, whether or not the matchup is in theory against him. And Dipender Singh Airi, in this format, he should be bowling 4 overs every single game.
Yeah, we didn't expect to see Gulshan Jha with the ball, and I think that's the overs of Dipender Singh Airi that went to Gulshan Jha, the 2 overs that he's bowled. Sometimes we tend to overthink it sometimes. It's just, let's keep it simple. He's one of our better bowlers.
Maybe Rohit Paudil's punishing him. He says, you cannot drop a catch, Dipender Singh Airi. I'm going to send you out. You're going to be done for eternity. That'll be a wide too short. I'm outcasting you. You drop a catch on me, Dippy, you're gone.
They're having fun out there, aren't they, in Nepal? And it's those things that when you win a game, you can laugh at them in the end. For somebody like Fayaz Butt and Khalid Kale, they'll rue their chances early in this game. They can't laugh at them.
Well, you have enough bad days in cricket to celebrate the good ones, and they've played with wonderful joy and freedom today. They've been too good for Oman. Whatever Kalimullah does, or Ahmed Fayaz, but it's not going to matter from here. It may well be Dipender Singh Airi to bowl the 20th and final over, and we might just hear a rendition of Nepali Ho before long. 19 bowled. It's 139 for 9.
Eva is giving back to the community and making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's a no-frills thing to do.
So just the final over to put into the books for Nepal to end 163 days. West Indies A couple of times in a cracking series in May on home soil, thanks to Rohit Paudil. But in terms of official T20Is or ODIs, it's been a long, long time coming. And I think every single one of these Nepali travelling squad, they're going to breathe a heavy sigh of relief this evening. They'll have a day off tomorrow. I would expect Monty Desai to say we're going to take a day of rest. We will not train. And they brought this No Frills T20 Cup right back into the balance. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest plays out. As Gulshan Jha will bowl the final over. And there's going to be a chance, and that's going to be that. Oh, what a way to win it. Anil Shah rounds things off in the most imperious of fashions. A diving catch making fantastic ground to his left to give Gulshan Jha another wicket to crown what is surely going to be a player of the match performance. 40 with the bat, 2 wickets with the ball. And Nepal, they've waited 163 days to taste victory on the international scene. They've done it by 37 runs.
What a brilliant catch there by Anil Shah. But who else is it going to be, Lenny, to cap this innings off? But Gulshan Jha just digging this one to the surface. Kalimullah just getting the toe end of the bat. And have a look at this. Full stretch, keeping full control. And Nepal, you can celebrate. You have your win.
Well, Nepali Ho, it is that time. They have finally got back into winning form. You won't believe it. There was a few memes going around on social media. This new jersey of theirs, since they've added the gold touch to it, they actually haven't had a win. And I think a few people will be breathing a heavy, heavy sigh of relief. Because ultimately, it's not to do with the jersey that you're wearing, it's to do with the way in which you're performing. And Nepal haven't quite been at their best in recent times. I thought they were wonderful at the World Cup, despite those narrow defeats to Netherlands, South Africa and Bangladesh. And now back against some of the best associates, having gone down to several defeats in the ODIs and, an absolutely heartbreaking defeat yesterday. They found a way to turn it all around and take a 37-run victory. They've been very good value for the victory, and you've got to say, I think they've deserved this. And you might make an argument that they'll be confident of turning Canada over. If they can do that, who knows, maybe they might even be able to pick up some silverware to round out this tour of Canada.
Well, they've certainly got the momentum on their side now. They've put together a complete performance, you would have to say. They were brilliant with bat, they were brilliant with ball, and besides the one unlikely drop catch from Deepinder Singh Airi, they were absolutely brilliant in the field as well. Nepal putting it all together in the right time in this T20I series. And have a look. A lot of positives for Nepal, for Oman. More questions than answers today. Not a lot has gone right for Oman today, and you would have to say, if you're Dilip Mendes, Puvidu Desanaika, you've got to go searching for some answers before tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you something. Look at the emotion here. Raw emotion. Jagat Tamata brought into this squad. He'll have coached almost every one of these boys, and there is raw emotion. Sandeep Lamachani yesterday, he took to social media to talk about his emotions, and I don't think there's a single one of these boys that hasn't been affected by what has happened back in Nepal, but it is ultimately only sport. And look at these beautiful scenes. They're now going on their customary lap of honour. We're going to bring you some shots of this. Nepali Ho is ringing out around the stadium. I'm just going to read you Sandeep Lamachani's thoughts from yesterday. Posted this on social media last night. Dear Nepali brothers and sisters, in this tragic moment brought to us by the recent floods, my heart is with you. This devastation and irreparable loss is extremely painful for all of us, but our courage and unity will help us overcome. I'm giving support and love to everyone and holding each other's hands and up and moving forward. Even though our national team is now in Canada, our concern and our love is always there for all of the people of Nepal. And I wish that all the flood victims may find peace and safety soon. Let's always be ready to help as much as we can, and let's move forward supporting each other. Keep being strong. Sandeep Lamachani, who's been through his own personal journey, and you have to say, touching moments with what is definitely a special day for Nepali cricket. The long wait has been ended. We'll guide you through those cards. You can't help but argue with the result, Arslan, can you?
No, there's only going to be one winner at the end of this. Just a lone shining light, you'd have to say, at the top of the order, Shoaib Khan. He was looking for his second half century T20I cricket, just falling short on 45 of 39. Rafiullah threatened with the bat, didn't he? 33 off 12 for him, but not much else to write home about. No real starts, nobody carrying on, just besides those two lone spotlights.
Yeah, and I think certainly for Nepal's bowlers, they'll be pretty pleased with their efforts on the whole. A few little concerns, certainly the way Rijan Dakal was taken apart in his last over. He's got to find a way to bowl at the death. You can't just be able to bowl your 3 overs at the top if you're a seamer. Surprise for me, not just because of the figures, but just more generally